Nick was going to talk about your process. In June, we talked about what we did here. What did you guys know? Those are the things we're going to talk about. This is not a tree.
So you think the tapes might have something to do with it then, or not?
No, I don't think so. I would just go ahead and put the tapes in.
Yeah.
I think it was just because maybe both of them were off that they were...
Yeah, reset something. Okay, so there's a tape currently in this one. Or maybe not, it says no tape. Where is it? Do you have it?
Right.
Oh. It's okay.
If you say it, right? Yeah, does that make sense? If you get forgot it, it's fine.
Do you want me to power this off now?
No.
No? Okay.
And just say it over. Yes, sure. And just say that it's the company ground here that is and then we talk about the process. What would you and you are going to introduce same.
Can I disconnect this one so I can continue charging the bats? Yep. Power this back up. Do I balance them both off the board? Is it what? Is it reversed? I can reverse in cam, I think. There you go, that's good. That's normal.
Oh, do we have the code yet? I sent you the code. And did you get it? Was it working or not? I didn't get the code yet. I emailed you the code. I have no idea.
So we're going to divide that board into two.
No, but it's like this is the shit that fucking drives me insane about live streaming and stuff. It's like it's just not like totally fine this morning. Fine this afternoon, no problems at all.
It's screwing up.
I'm interested.
Settings.
And this is our runner here.
It would be nice to you, right? Because you're doing something with this. Oh dear. Okay.
Or you can mirror the two left and right images there.
is fine. And it's not consistent. This is the problem. Yeah, I didn't change it. Yeah, it's not. No, it's not that bad. So it's a few years ago. Yeah, I'm working on it. It's all that I'm working on. Did you use those batteries? The blade batteries? Can you grab them?
The wireless?
Yeah, I
Yep.
need them for the wireless.
Sure.
Well, I'll just say they're preparing for volleyball the next year.
Which is something that, was only an intellectual reality and not a social, right? So it's really about that sort of, and having even a magazine, because there was no extra west at that time, right?
Here, Scott.
So those are,
Something here
sort of
on
like
Wirecast.
that was sort of like my culture.
Hangout will only be reversed at your end.
Oh, really?
Or Hangout.
Or walking on a church street. And then finding places like this for the show push and finding someone and so on and so forth. That were
Also, for those of you who are going to try this out, please note that your video screen in the Hangout will be reversed. This is only on your end. The camera output for live video will display correctly. Now he's got a YouTube link of what he did. Big thanks for the update I received today. Virtual camera version of Mac.
Boston with Fred
Very insane.
Yes, right? There you go, right?
Image can throw some people, especially since on the streamers. Try another browser and see if it makes a difference. I don't know anything about this. I've never done it.
I'm like, listen. No. Because after the moment.
Does anybody have an extra pen?
Frank got your email.
Yeah.
That's really it. So that was really it. That was, community space, right? That was, Extra wasn't a community space.
No, none of my mother's listening.
No, it's like Amanda.
So, I mean, so that really was sort of like what we find sort of
Super Canadian. I don't think there's any. It's like I've never had. That's what you're asking. She said you're one of those. Why is it like that? You wouldn't Well, look at, I'm perpetuating the problem by nothing but a comment that I made.
Are you gonna button up the jacket or not?
I can or not. It depends on also on how it's sort of.
Yeah, exactly. So whatever you feel, does it feel uncomfortable? Like it looks okay because the jacket's
Yeah.
pretty heavy. So.
Yeah. No, it's fine.
Okay, let's do that.
Which chair do you want me to grab?
You're gonna be right here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't believe you. She is so weird. She's like, she was 15 and before
Any place where I can grab a cup of coffee or a glass of water or.
Right up in here. There's cups and stuff right up above there.
No, no. Hey, good. How are you?
What time you can call?
I'm looking for maybe some coffee or a glass of water or. Is there? You don't have any coffee ready? I'll just have water.
I think we do.
Oh.
I don't know how fresh it is. We could make fresh one if.
Don't. You know what? I'm most likely healthier to have water. So.
Or it's, the fridge has that.
Ah, great.
I don't know how to use it. I don't use this machine. How fresh is coffee? Yeah, in the dishwasher.
Strategic review and then draft departmental review reduction plan areas. And so a lot of these departments
Yes, you're allowed.
I have to make sure nobody goes down there.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
You're the gatekeeper and the beastmaster all rolled into one. All right. So, you know, when I don't remember specific conversations or there were no sort of earth-shatteringly specific, I mean, you know, I remember sort of going into Glad Day, and it's one of the reasons why we ended up buying it was because of the...
Let's go for
was because of the nostalgia around Glad Day as a place where you could sort of go and get books
That's why you
and
wanted to buy it.
magazines, and that's one of the reasons that that we wanted. I wanted to make sure, like, I mean, Troy is fairly new to Toronto, but
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that this place still sort of existed.
Oh my God, that's such a nice story.
Right?
Yeah. Okay.
And in that, things of interest are how the community was different than like pre-internet, pre all of this access. Like any of those details that you're able to give us.
Well, you see, one of the things is, and I don't know whether this is sort of worth in your storyline. So when I started Salam back in 1993, right, Xtra used to be on Church Street, right, and this was pre-internet, pre all of that sort of shit, and so 1996, I think the internet was just coming around, right? Yeah. So Xtra actually gave me a free voice box for Salam, right, and they gave us a free ad.
Oh, that's nice.
Like they ran us. Like they used to have a section of different community groups, right? That they used to list, and they all had voice boxes and mailboxes and stuff. I'm not sure whether they had mailboxes, but voice boxes.
So like to leave a voicemail.
So yeah. Right? Yeah. So this was sort of like my, in 93, so like, I'd gone from picking up this magazine, this newspaper up on the street and so on and so forth, to it actually sort of being part of community building. And the flip side of the bookshop is, this was a place where you could go and you could get stuff, because you couldn't order stuff online or whatever. I mean, I remember using Google like in the early days. I mean, you would hardly get any hits. Put up a notice or something at the bookstore, like at Glad Day.
That's great. Like that kind of stuff is the kind of detail we're talking about. Yeah.
That's a big. Even the cast that we've assembled are quite like of a younger generation, so we're interested in what's lost necessarily, like what do we know, because we'll be doing a lot of discussion after the story.
So one of the things that's lost is the personal contact.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? Because now with one message I can hit 500 people, but I don't know 500 people. I might know 50, let's say, out of the 500, but I don't know 500, right? But at the same time, there's people who are connected, like so we do our mosque here in this building on the 5th floor on Fridays, right? So we get between 15 and 25 people, but we also get up to 10 people by Skype. And these people from Skype could be like in like Newmarket, or they could be in Moab, Utah. So like there's a trans woman who Skypes in from Utah every Friday. Right? So on one hand, it's sort of expanded. On the other hand, it's made it more personal. But on the other hand, it's also made it more impersonal, right? Because there's 500 people in our group, but I haven't had a conversation with all 500. And what I had to do before, when there was no internet or not as easily accessible internet, was I had to call every single person.
Yeah.
So anyway,
okay, amazing. No, that's great. Yeah, it's like
any stories, because we get kind of esoteric, which we will in the discussion.
Right.
Like if there's any anecdotes, it doesn't have to be a fully developed story.
Oh, I mean, but literally having to phone, people
what would a
giving you
conversation be like? What would you say? Right?
Well, people saying to you, like, if you phone and my mother phones, hang up.
Yes,
right?
that's stuff. Oh, totally see that kind of stuff.
Or I remember one conversation where I phoned and I asked for the guy, and I knew the guy, right? And I asked for him, and he had already sort of warned me about his mother. And she said, "Who are you?" And I said, "I'm Alfaro." "What do you want?" I said, "Well, I'm a friend of
When I do a tape change, turn it off.
Joe." And she's like, "Are you a homosexual?"
Oh my God! Right back.
And I'm like,
totally. Yeah.
"No." I said, I'm just a friend of his, and if you can just let him know that I called, right? And sort of, cut the conversation short. Because if it was just up to me, I might have had a different response, but this is about somebody else.
Yeah,
right?
totally, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Oh my gosh. That's great. That kind of story is really great.
Were
Yeah.
there phone trees as well? Like I'll call these people and then they call these people? Or?
Yeah, so you see, dear, community organizing means that everybody says they're going to do shit and nobody does it. So this was also one of the reasons, or one of the things that led me to closing up the group, right? So I got threats from Islamic Jihad for having written an article on being Muslim and being queer for the University of Toronto varsity newspaper. And even though I didn't put my name on it, I used to go to the prayers there, so I'm pretty visible and sort of look kind of different from maybe some of the other folks around. And so they figured out it was me. I think they figured out. So they sent a threat letter, a letter to the varsity, but the problem, to the varsity threatening, and then the police got called in and all of that sort of stuff. But sorry, I lost the
We were
explanation.
talking about phone trees and community.
Oh, right.
planning.
So that was the problem, where people said that they would do stuff and then would. I'd have to phone somebody to make sure that they did the phone tree, right? And so on. So it was very sort of nascent. Numbers weren't so large. I remember incrementally. I think the first time I went to Pride was 1990, right? And literally the numbers doubled each year, right? So I think 1990 was maybe 20,000, and I think my mother was here. I think 1990. And I wasn't out at that time, right? So I took her to the airport.
Yeah.
And by the time she left, right, I took her and came back, and it was over. There was nobody on Church Street.
Is
Like
that short?
4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, it was done. There was nobody on Church Street.
Oh my God! What year?
There was
91?
91.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
1990 or 1991.
Wow. Okay, I can't imagine that. That sounds like Huntsville Pride.
There might have been a little, little gaggle of gays over here, and a herd of lesbians over there, and stuff. But that was it. It was not like today when you go out and it's like you can't move for 3 days, right?
That's
So.
Wow, amazing! I wouldn't have guessed 1990 would be that.
Because then the numbers just sort of went like this, right? So it was like 30,000, and then 50,000, then 150,000, then 250,000, then 5. Like literally, it went like that, right? In the early 90s.
Wow.
So,
oh my gosh.
We've accessed the body politic through the Canadian Gay Archives. Has the body politic publication influenced any of the work that you've done, or like a specific article or an issue, or?
No, I don't think so. I think, to be honest with you, I think the struggles of the people who started the body politic, I suspect were very different in social context than what they were for me. I think race, experience, social circle, right? I grew up in Vancouver. Right? So that's also different, right? It's very different culturally. When I came to Toronto, I actually thought the community here was kind of ghettoized, because in Vancouver, I had friends of all types, straight, queer, blah, 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 right? Mixed, all sorts of racial and other backgrounds. Whereas what I seemed to be sensing here was something very different. The village was referred to as the ghetto. And people had, it seemed a lot of people that I would meet didn't have, gay folks didn't have straight friends, right?
This is all really great stuff, because the play, as Nick has written it so far, is pretty much set in its events in the paper. But to be able to access this detail around what the community was like, or to be able to get a sense of what being gay
I'll tell you, I had this one experience here, and that's a really interesting, and it's not connected to either the new. There used to be a place, a bar called Comrades, on Isabella and Yonge, right? So the village wasn't on Church Street; it was on Yonge Street.
This is fascinating.
right?
Yeah.
Like Living Well Cafe, kitty corner to that. So we would go meet friends at the Living Hell, and then cross over to Comrags and Chaps, right? So it was Comrades, but we all called it Comrags. So.
You're like, wow, things were different back then.
So I was living in Vancouver, but I was doing like youth activism stuff. So I would sometimes come for conferences, right? So I came one time, and we went to Comrades, and it was really interesting. Full of beautiful, really pretty white boys. It was packed. It was like a Saturday night, and it was a huge. Here's where the gym is. Do you know where the gym is on? Isabella, right at the corner of Yonge, right? House of Lords, and across the street from it, upstairs. So that was Comrades, right? And so there's all these beautiful, pretty white boys, right? I come back 3 months later, and I go back to the same bar, and there's no white boys except the Chocolate Queens, and it's now all black and brown.
3 months later?
3 or 6 months later, like it was in the same year, and all of a sudden the whole demographic had changed. And that sort of only perpetuated this sort of notion of distinctness, right? So not only was it a gay straight thing where gay guys gay folk didn't have straight friends, or didn't have that sort of interaction, but even sort of racially, that like this bar literally went from being all white to being all off color. And so where did the white boys go? I don't know, right?
This is all very fruitful because we are of this generation and we don't have access to
so you go to cruise and you'll see everything and everyone, right? But it wasn't always that way, and I'm not sure, because at that time I wasn't living here, I'm not sure that it was even articulated that way, right? That it was even articulated sort of
but you
overtly
noticed it as someone.
Well, I mean, when you're in a room which has got 500 people and less than 5% are of color, and you go back 6 months later and there's 500 people in the room and less than 5% are white, there's a huge shift in like something.
What is that?
Something has shifted.
That's so drastic, but you don't know what it was.
I have no idea, and I mean, we didn't have critical mass to have theme nights or those kinds of
things.
Flavor of the week nights or whatever, right?
Oh, And what year was that? That was 93-ish then, or 92?
No, I moved here in '89. This would have been like '86, '87.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So by the time you got here, it had already happened. Like, this is you noticing it.
This is me noticing, like, coming into Toronto from about 1984, around that time, 1984. Yeah. Okay. That's really interesting. Yeah. So these were just sort of, these were only sort of glimmers. I mean, I wasn't living here, so I didn't have an ongoing sort of daily experience, right?
But then you notice it, right? It's so, right? If you're here all the time.
I mean, even the images that you see, like the images that are in Extra, I mean, at one point there were, very different images. There were only all white images, but at least there were, gay boy images, right? Which is something that, I mean, I guess there's a point where you start to become sort of more critical, because when you go from having nothing to having something is better than not having nothing, no matter what that something is, right?
Any representation.
Right? So at the beginning it was just simply about representation, and it wasn't a question of necessarily of, the diversity of representation, right? So.
Thank you so much.
I'm just munching away at all that.
So very few like sort of specific sort of stuff, but a lot of sort of these little
stories. But definitely the phone call stuff is like really great. That's juicy.
Well, in tracing your progress as far as like being a visitor, the time to then coming here, and then like
and Toronto was an escape for me, right? Because I mean, my dad was very well known in Vancouver. And in the Muslim community, and also in the larger community, right? Because he didn't have. I could be anonymous here, and I wasn't so and so's son, right? And I wasn't,
Was the queer part of it too, or just the son out of his shadow, or was it?
Oh no, the queer part.
It wasn't. No.
Because I wasn't out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, actually, to be honest with you, I'd come out when I was 16, and they didn't believe me, so I went back in the closet.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
So, because they said I would grow out of it. That's natural for boys to have that, but you'll grow out of it. Don't worry.
Oh.
Oops,
A
didn't
few
happen.
decades
Still
later,
Still waiting.
you're still growing. You're still
Yeah.
growing, apparently.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, at my age, the challenge is not to grow out this way, right?
Oh. No. I feel like you're gonna be, fit and slim the rest of your life.
I believe we are minutes away from beginning. We're just waiting on these gentlemen to get the live feed. So we have a mini introduction that we'll do just
Okay.
us, and then Jane will call you up to the hot seat.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to go fill up my water, and I'll be sitting right here, and you can just go,
Thank you so much.
All right.
That was a perfect time. Yeah, if you want to start rolling on that, I would start rolling on that. So we'll do like a little intro because it's being live streamed.
Yeah.
We'll just stand in front there.
Do we talk to that camera?
We start talking to that camera.
We do talk to
We look
No,
to the
let's not
camera,
talk to the camera. Let's talk to the audience.
Or whoever.
So whoever. Yeah.
but don't look to the camera.
You can look at the camera. We're not gonna, like, yell at you. So all we have
Oh, don't worry. We're starting soon. Yeah.
They're mic'd up.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Blue balls.
We're just waiting.
When's the last time blue balls came up? No, that's not you. That's a different play. The play I'm directing on Saturday, there's a scene about blue balls. Anyways.
Yeah, we're ready.
we're stable. Awesome. Just go ahead and
Hi, period. So I'm being interviewed by Jean, a couple of chairs, cameras, it's live feed, I guess, to the Extra website, and being scripted as I'm being interviewed. So interesting. There is audience space and place, so if you are around and interested, I just tried calling, but you didn't answer. All right.
You can do it in the next 30 seconds.
She's whatever you want her to be. She's like.
I didn't get focused.
Are we tweeting that there's a live stream going on? Is that what's happening?
Are we tweeting?
Yeah. Or
Are you
posting
tweeting?
it? I'm not doing it. I'm just wondering now. Now I'm just thinking randomly.
Would you like to tweet?
I think we should say there's a live stream, shouldn't we?
You want me to tweet for you?
I think so. Yeah. At some after, sometime during the thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you everyone for being here and welcome. We would like to begin our presentation by acknowledging the traditional caretakers of this land, the Mississaugas of the New Credit and the Haudenosaunee people. I would also like to take this time to acknowledge the queer history makers and our queer ancestors who have paved the way so that we could be here in this office, creating this project, living this queer out and proud life. My name's Cole Alvis, and I am one of the co-artistic producers of Lemon Tree Creations.
I'm Andrew Kasapi.
My name is Nick Green.
I'm Gene Wong.
And I'm Jonathan Synan.
So we're all artists in the city, and just like Cole said, Cole, myself, and Jonathan run Lemon Tree Creations, which is a independent theater company in the city.
Right. So I'll talk a bit about what we're here today. Lemon Tree commissioned Nick Green, our playwright, to write a play about the body politic, which was a groundbreaking gay newspaper here in Toronto, published from 1972 to 1987. And so Nick has been working to write that play. We've done a couple of workshops over the past couple of years. And today we're going to show you a bit of that process of how that play was created.
So what you're seeing is a dramatized version of the process. It's a bit of an experiment. When I wrote the play, a lot of it involved interviewing people who were part of the collective, as well as spending a lot of time in the Toronto Reference Library and the CLGA archives. And then going into the development of that with dramaturgy, actors in the space, having to make all of that information work within a theatrical boundary. So, you know, there's this thing called a budget and only a certain amount of people that can be in the play that's based on a story that involved hundreds of people. So you're seeing today a bit of a dramatization of that, which is going to be explained by Jean.
Yes. So what we're going to do is essentially show this whole process and condense it within 3 hours. So Nick and I are going to interview someone, hear their story, and then Nick is going to, right after that interview, start writing away, writing a scene out. And while that's happening, we're going to gather our company of actors, and we're going to start almost as if we're in rehearsal and start prepping the actors for this script that's being written on the fly. And once we start getting pages, we're going to start just diving right in, getting in our feet. And at the end of 3 hours, we'll have a stage scene and a mini play.
And who's the storyteller today?
And yes, our storyteller is El Farouk, who I guess I will bring to the stage right now, or to the scene. Yes, let's do that.
Hello.
Hi. You know, it's funny, when we first started this whole process and talked about this whole, oh, we're gonna do it all in 3 hours and show the whole process, I kind of joked that it was almost like the reality TV version of theater. And now with all these cameras and lights on us, it really feels like that to me now.
Are we gonna have a fight? Are we gonna?
I think so. You know, we're gonna have to throw some chairs across. You know, as long as the camera catches it, then we're okay, right? Make sure it's on camera. Yes. Yeah. So, oh my goodness, it's so good to have you here. Yeah, El Farouk is almost, I would say, a larger than life figure in the Toronto queer community. Done so many things.
I don't know. It's my life, so it doesn't seem larger than life.
Oh, it's epic!
It's only mine, right? So.
We'll talk about what you know, some stuff about yourself.
Well, I came here I came to Toronto in 1989. I moved here in 1989. And for the last almost 21 years now, I've been in private practice. I do refugee and immigration law. And the bulk of my practice is around LGBT refugee claimants.
Okay.
And I started representing those kinds of clients back in 1993, when there were very few LGBT refugees at all. And people actually didn't even know about the process or about the system, or that they could have access to it. There were a lot of issues at the refugee board. They didn't know how to handle these kinds of cases and so on. So that's been a large part of my sort of activism work. And I guess I've been kind of lucky that this was also my profession as well as my activism. And it was also part of my own coming out, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm representing queer folk and I'm advocating for them. And some of that advocacy had to be public because of the systemic issues, the lack of familiarity, the homophobia in the system, the lack of training, or the lack of any kind of policy. So in terms of advocating for that, I sort of ended up outing myself, you know?
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about that, because you came in '89, and where did you come from?
From Vancouver.
From Vancouver.
Yeah.
So
the east, the west.
The west, yes, the left.
From the west to the east, right?
Well, if you go all the way around the world, that's east, right?
Yeah, I started out in Africa. You know, so it's been a long trek. Right?
Yeah. So in Vancouver, were you out?
Yeah, so what does that mean, right? Because, you know, I think I am now out.
Yeah.
Because you put my name into Google and it has more hits than I would maybe like to have. You know?
Yeah.
But in those days, you know, pre-internet, pre-Google, pre-texting, pre-whatever, I was out within my social circle. My coming out process, I graduated from high school when I was 16.
Oh,
and this is an era before GSAs and all of that, right? So my coming out process as a teenager took place at university because that was the place where you actually saw some visibility of queer folk. Now, I went to high school in the West End, so you know there were queer kids at my school. There was a big street kids situation going on and so on. But in terms of regular sort of interaction and normalized interactions, that was at university. So I had groups of friends or networks where I was out, but I mean I wasn't out to the world. You know, I wasn't out to my parents. I wasn't out to a lot of the community spaces that I was connected to. But it was also a different world. I mean, it wasn't Canada back in the 1980s, wasn't Canada, you know, in 2014 either.
Well, how so?
Well, I think technology has changed our day-to-day realities significantly. But I mean, LGBT issues weren't mainstreamed. I mean, the bathhouse raids in Toronto took place in 1981. You know, AIDS hit us in the mid 80s, and those are the kinds of things that sort of propelled queer visibility.
Totally.
And a lot of that was focused around Toronto as well. Vancouver is West Coast. It's Lotus Land, you know, so things are kind of chill.
Yeah,
you know,
this is true.
So it didn't. I mean, I remember about 10 years ago or 10, 15 years ago going back to Vancouver to visit my folks, and it was Pride, and I went to the Pride parade, and people are sitting there with lawn chairs, you know, along the parade route, you know. So it's a very different vibe out there. So
So why did you come to Toronto exactly?
Employment.
Employment.
Yeah.
Okay. So you'd finished university.
I'd finished university. I had completed my articles, which was quite the feat for me anyway. I didn't like law school, and I didn't really want to be a lawyer, but I didn't know what else to do. So I figured if I had this degree and this qualification, it would be, you know, something I might be able to use in the future.
Was it a chance to get away from home as well, coming to Toronto?
Yeah, that was part of it.
Yeah.
That was definitely a part of it. My father was involved in a lot of human rights and anti-racism work, and was really quite well known in the Muslim community and in the larger community. And so for me, leaving Vancouver was almost a necessity for me to get to know myself and to be able to figure out what my wings were and how to spread them.
Also, almost to get out of a shadow, really.
That's it.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And then
I've actually used that you know, that I needed to get out of my dad's shadow. So,
yeah. Especially if he's so prominent there, right?
Yeah.
Like, so then, how was it like your impression of Toronto then, from a distance?
So I started coming to Toronto, I think in the early 80s. I used to sit on a number of boards, national boards, around multiculturalism and racism and so on and so forth. So human rights kind of stuff. Not queer stuff, but sort of racialized stuff and Muslim stuff. Muslim community organizing. So I would come to Toronto because, you know, Toronto is the center of the universe, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. I was born and raised here, so I can say that.
So you know it's the center of the
universe.
universe.
And I can annoy people by saying that.
I'm a West Coaster. It's, you know, the evil East, right?
Yes,
so, but when I started coming here, it was interesting. I mean, you know, the village or the neighborhood or whatever you want to call it was not on Church Street. It was actually on Yonge Street, which is where the bars and the cafes were, and you know, the Living Well, affectionately known as Living Hell, and Comrades and Chaps on Isabella and Yonge, and so that was really sort of like the hub. And there was Chez Moi on Hayden, and so all of the bars and cafes seemed to be sort of more centered. There was the St. Charles Tavern, which I was too afraid to go into.
Why?
Well, it was sort of like, I think, an older crowd. I was like a twink, right? So this is in the day.
Okay.
And you know, this was sort of an older crowd, and it had a notorious reputation and stuff. And I remember actually one time actually walking in, right, because it's at Alexander and Young.
Okay.
It's the
right by Buddy's,
the
right
clock,
there.
you know, like the little clock tower thing.
Yeah.
Under there, yeah. So
it was St. Charles Tavern. Okay.
Yeah. So I remember sort of walking in, and there's, you know, there was a door to this way and a door there and staircase going there, and I'm like, where do I go? And I went this way, and I went this way, and I went this way, and then I went out the door. And I was by myself. I mean, maybe I would have, you know, not left had I had sort of somebody to hold my hand or to, you know, still my beating heart. But
yeah. What made you? So why did you want to go in there? Just because it was forbidden?
Yeah, of course.
All right.
You know,
yeah,
I'm in the prayer room at Emmanuel College yesterday, and there's on the shelf there's something, and it says, "Please do not touch." And of course, my instinct is like, "What is it?"
And touch it, right?
Yeah. But coming from Vancouver, I actually found Toronto to be rather ghettoized.
Oh, what do you mean? What is that?
I found that even though it was more visibly racially diverse, there didn't seem to be the same level of interaction between people. I couldn't go into a restaurant or into a bar and see a group of let's say 15 people with people from all different racial or ethnic backgrounds. People, there might be a greater diversity, but people sort of seem to stick to themselves. Okay, and I actually had one experience where I went into Comrades one time. I was here, and it was a huge. Comrades was a huge space. It's now a gym on the second floor. Above House of Lords on
yes,
Isabella and Young, right?
Yeah.
And I went in there, and you know, I've always grown up as a racialized and a religious minority, right? So I pretty well sort of suss out a space where I am to see whether I can find mirrors and reflections and so on. So I walk into this bar, and it's packed. It's a Saturday night. It's literally hopping space, but everybody's white, mostly male. Almost exclusively white, maybe less than 5% of color. I come back about 6 or 8 months later, and it's the exact opposite. Almost everybody is of color, and all the white boys have run away. Or at least that's the sense that I have.
Yeah.
They may not have run away, but I mean, that was like, that's phenomenal. And also coming from Vancouver, where, you know, the racialized population was significantly smaller in terms of percentages. So at that time, I mean, I was one of a handful of the color in the queer community. And then coming here and actually seeing that there is so much more color and so many different kinds of color here. But at the same time, people didn't seem to be connected quite in the same way. They didn't break bread. They might occasionally sleep together, but they didn't break bread together.
Okay. Nick, any questions over there, or thoughts you've got, or?
So you arrived in '89, which means you sort of arrived after Body Politic was circulating. So what did you hear about it when you came here?
Well, I guess in the trips that I had made here before I actually moved, the Body Politic was around. So I remember seeing it on the street and picking it up and sort of figuring out what was going on in the community and where to go and so on and so forth. So the Body Politic in itself didn't have a phenomenal impact on me, but it was a good guide to have when I was here, because it gave me access to the community. And again, you know, going back to how technology has changed us, you know, you don't need paper as much as you did then, right?
Was it like almost like the only access in that way?
Yeah. Because there was no internet. There was like, where would you go to find out? So the Body Politic and then Xtra were the sources for that, and the Glad Day Bookshop was also a space, you know, to go into where you could, because it was starting to happen that, you know, you might be able to get Play Guy and Play Girl and, you know, maybe one or two sort of gay porn sort of stuff at the corner store, you know, behind all the other
everything else,
behind the other magazines, but where would you go to get any kind of queer literature beyond that? You know, there was no gay and lesbian section at Chapters or Amazon.ca or whatever it is, right? There wasn't. The only place you could really go and actually look at stuff and get a sense of stuff was to go to the Glad Day bookshop. Right?
Mm.
So those are my first sort of memories of sort of going in there and not being just a seedy porn shop.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to think, like, to begin with, like, how did you know to find them? If it was like you couldn't look this up or you know, that kind of thing, how do you know to go to Glad Day? How do you know find this body?
Isn't
Like,
that
how does that,
interesting?
yeah.
You know, I guess the answer would have to be I read it like either in Body Politic or in Extra, or somebody took me there, and I don't actually recall which it was. Or maybe, considering sort of the uncertainty of spaces at that time for me, you know, it would have most likely been a multiple sourced information. You know, reading it about it somewhere, and then somebody maybe mentioning it or pointing it out and stuff. And again, you know, being at Living Well and Comrades and sort of along Young Street, sort of north of Wellesley, it's in the zone, right, of the bookshop.
So it's a lot of like talking amongst each other and sort of sharing info in that way.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't have, you know, texting, and we didn't have Instagram or Facebook or any kind of social network to spread the word.
To look it up yourself,
so,
really.
So it would have to be, you know, print media, or it would have to be word of mouth, because there was nothing else.
Is that how folks organized as well? All word of mouth?
Oh, the joys of organizing before the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was ironic when the Arab Spring was happening in Egypt. Not ironic. I thought it was insightful when there was a kid named Facebook. You know, and it was in the media about these parents naming their kid Facebook, because it was Facebook and other social media that made possible the Arab Spring.
The communication
and so on, right? When I came to Toronto, again, going back to the racialized piece, you know, I started to meet a lot of more people who came from racialized backgrounds, and also more people who came from a Muslim background who identified as being queer. And so one of the things that I did in 1993 was I started Salam, which is
still around.
Which is still around in some manifestation as a LGBT. In those days, just L and G. Community, right? I mean, bisexuals were not part of the narrative, and trans people were definitely not part of the narrative, right? So it was a lesbian and gay group at that time. But again, because of the limitations of access and outreach, Extra used to actually provide for community groups, used to provide a phone line, a phone box, so people could phone in and leave messages and so on and so forth. And of course, they still have the Extra listings where they you know, publish events.
What's the phone box? What was it for exactly, or what?
So different community groups, and they all had a phone that they could phone into, and it was a 925 something blah 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 extension, and we each had our own extension numbers. So if somebody wanted to reach Salam, okay, so if you went into the newspaper, there was a section that listed all of the groups that had these voice boxes, and with their extension numbers, and you could phone. And if you wanted information about Salam, you would leave a message, and you know, somebody, i.e. me, would phone you back.
Okay.
So outreach was always by telephone or by putting in an ad in something like Extra or Now magazine, which was queer friendly. Or by phone calls, and so
were those awkward conversations? Like,
oh, they were awful.
Like what?
Yeah.
What were they
well,
like?
I mean, you know, when people signed on and if they left their phone number, then there were usually, you know, half-page instructions on what to do and how to leave a phone message. So if you phone and my mother picks up the phone, you know, don't say anything, just hang up. This is also before caller display, right? You know,
oh my gosh.
Or maybe it's just at the start of caller display. I can't even remember anymore. But, you know, don't say anything, you know, just hang up. Or if my mother asks you if you're gay, tell her you're not. Or if she asks you how you know me, say this. And, you know, all sorts of stuff. If there's if nobody answers, don't leave a message, or just say, it's Al Farouk, call me, or, you know, whatever. So you had these long, detailed, worse than IKEA product instructions, right? On how to contact people. So imagine you're trying to do community organizing. You've got 50 people on your phone list, let's say, and you have to phone each single person to tell them off the meeting. And somebody asked me about telephone trees. Yeah, they work sort of if people follow through on what they say they're going to do. But I mean, one of the things that I found challenging is everybody had great ideas for Salam, for example, right? And when we would have our big gatherings, we had between 50 and 100 people. And people would even come from the United States for our stuff. But nobody wanted to take on the responsibility of doing it. Everybody was afraid of being outed. I was the only one, apparently, who had no such issues or concerns, right? So it just became too much. It was like literally community organizing fell on the shoulders of handfuls of people, and it was that much more difficult to outreach, to connect with people, and to get the information out.
Oh goodness, so, yeah. To have to, it almost sounds like it's being stealth and spy-like, really.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
Wow. Did you like?
Remember, social acceptance of LGBT issues was not as prominent as, I mean, today we have politicians at all levels. We have human rights protections. We have spousal benefits. In those days, we didn't have any of that. Canadian society hadn't matured to a point of extending the notion of human rights and human dignity to LGBT people as universally as we can argue that it has today.
Very true. Nick, did you have a question or thought or? No. Oh.
No thought at all. Oops.
Yeah, okay. See, you can tell I'm a director because I don't keep track of time. I rely on my stage manager to tell me. But how much time do we have? Does anyone know at the moment?
You're about there.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, then I kind of knew about that.
There you go.
Is there, like, I guess, let's take one more minute or something. Is there anything else you want to share with us particularly about sort of first coming into Toronto, things back then?
Well, we were having this chat earlier, right? About, so when I moved here in 1989, and I still wasn't out to my parents, and I lived in the neighborhood, even back then. But my mom came to visit one year, and I can't remember now exactly whether it was 90 or 91. It was one of those 2 years, and she was leaving on the same day as the Pride Parade. Right?
Okay.
And I've never had this conversation with her, so when she sees this, she's gonna go. Not the conversation about being gay, that we've done already.
That's happened? Okay,
yeah,
good. That's good.
But about this particular incident, and she was going back to Vancouver that day, and there was a question of how she was going to get to the airport, and I was hoping that she would, sort of take a taxi, or her brother who lives here would pick her up and take her. And it ended up that I think I ended up taking her. And missing the Pride Parade.
You missed Pride. Oh.
Well, not only did I miss Pride Parade, but by the time I got into town, got back onto Church Street, it was maybe about 4 or 5 o'clock.
And it was over.
It was over.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that's...
There were like little gaggles of gays over there, and little herds of lesbians over here.
Yeah.
And, a few people left on Church Street, but it was empty.
Like
I missed it on the Sunday of the Pride Parade. I got there like at 5, and it was over.
Wow, that is not the same Pride that we have now.
Absolutely not, right? And so what was really interesting about that is, when I went the next year, and I think they had said that there was maybe about 30,000 people at Pride that year, and the next year was 50, and then it was 150, and then it was 250, and then it was 500,000, and then it sort of stabilized to where we kind of are, around a mil. But literally that growth from like in the early 90s was literally exponential. So, I mean, nobody who goes to Pride today can imagine that they would get to Church Street at 5 o'clock on a Saturday, on Pride Sunday, and not find anybody on the street.
Yeah, I think I just get, I mean, I get to, seriously, I think I start my Pride around 5 p.m.
Yeah, parade? What parade?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so-
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's just a little, you know, flashpoint to history. So
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, thank you so much for sharing all
Pleasure.
these stories. That was really wonderful to hear. And I almost want to talk with you more at some point. We'll have to get a camera in front of you and get a whole
Sure.
like 3-hour documentary at some
me
point.
in front of a camera? What would I say?
I don't know. Yeah. Right.
Thanks for asking.
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. So thank you. Okay, so we're now shifting into the next phase, and I believe Jonathan is. Yeah, you are. Okay, excellent.
So this is a small period of time right now. What's going to happen is.
I wonder if I'm still on mic now. Can they hear us on the live stream? I have no idea. Okay, how you feeling?
So now Nick,
I have no idea what I'm going to do.
Okay. Yeah.
well, we set up a space here for our rehearsal.
I feel like those telephone calls might be the thing to do.
Phase of the evening. What
so I
happens
think that's going to be.
been listening, paying attention, making notes here on the overhead projector. And so he's going to start writing a play. And while he's writing a play, a scene, which may be a play someday, small play. And while he's writing, we as the acting company and Jean, our director, are going to do what we call table work. So yeah, feel free to bring the chairs in there. So this is that phase of rehearsal when we talk about the play, we talk about thoughts or feelings or ideas that have come up or questions as we start exploring the issues that were brought up by Alfred's story and how we might approach them as an acting company. And so what's going to happen is we're going to talk for a bit, and then eventually this printer here is going to start spewing out pages as Nick starts writing the piece, and then we'll be at a place where we can start actually rehearsing the play. And then I think, what's our, Indra?
Yes.
Our timeline. We'll
So-
be presenting the scene
At around
8:30?
yeah, 8:45.
8:45. So again, so feel free to come and go. This is an open rehearsal in a sense, so you can witness our work. And we may ask you for some assistance during our Google the Audience section. If there's a question that we have that you may have more information than we do. And then, yes, we'll take a small break, and then we'll come back together and perform whatever scene that Nick has written for us, and we've been able to rehearse. So that's where we're at. So just bear with us. As they wrap up the conversation, then we'll move on to table work.
Yeah, I'm actually.
Do we have short copy?
Where's the?
Oh, there's Jeff. I think so.
Okay, great. That was like what we're gonna do right now is talk about some questions and thoughts that people have, and we're gonna focus in on part of what Alfred was talking about, and the part we're gonna focus on is back in like whatever the 80s and the late 80s, this idea of how people communicate, phone calls, and what was in Toronto at that time. Do folks have any thoughts or reactions to that right now on those parts that he was talking about?
It made me think of a very small personal anecdote. But when I was first living with my first live-in boyfriend years ago, we both had mobile phones, right? Because everyone has that now. We didn't have a home line, and it always dawned on me that if we had been living 10, 5, whatever years earlier, we would have had a home phone, because I never had any contact with his parents or his mother. Like, and if I had a home phone, I would have answered some days, and his mom would have been there, and I would have been suddenly in communication with his mother. Like, we couldn't have avoided that.
Yeah.
You know, but now everything, and so when Alfred was talking about the messages that people would leave, or like how to leave a message or don't leave a message or whatever, all that kind of navigating certain aspects of when it's become quite kind of individualized and privatized now, I think that's an interesting dynamic.
It is, actually.
You lose out on certain kinds of interactions that might spontaneously happen.
Do you think you ever had to do that? I mean, not with this particular person, but in general, call in maybe when you're younger to other people's houses and talk to their family members, or?
Oh, I was always too nervous. It makes me nervous. So.
Okay, fair enough.
But
fair enough.
that would have been
Yeah, because it makes me think like, you know, yeah, we just wouldn't, you'd have to be, like these days I feel you have to be so intentional to get in touch with your friends or your lover's family, right? It's a very big thing. But in that situation, you are kind of set up where there is some sort of, they at least know your voice, or they know what your manners are initially and things like that are. And like, that's a completely different dynamic, right? Or how the ice is broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have fewer of those accidental meetings. Everything's much more, feels to me, organized.
That way.
Structured now.
Yeah, totally.
Taking out the chance for chance.
Yeah.
I remember we talked previously about the sort of telephone tree idea as well. And I remember mentioning something about like the broken telephone idea, and hearing how that one would need to sometimes follow certain conditions in order to be in touch with someone. And if it fell upon one person to be the one core to communicate with everybody, and then that next person had to call someone else, I was wondering about like sort of the tensions. How about if someone missed out on one and someone was revealed or accidentally outed? Those situations, if that happened, if that ever happened, or it probably did, and in that case, what happened to the tree? What was the extension or the warp around in order to communicate with the rest of the tree? And so that's just sort of made my mind think like
what happened?
How to go through all those loopholes, you know?
Yeah, it seems a lot more delicate, almost like a house of cards, and right. If you mess up somehow, then that part falls over. Really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you have to organize and still be in touch with all 50, per se, you know.
Yeah.
Interesting. It made me think upon my partner's family is French. Only French, and I speak very little, and then my family is only Cantonese. And yet when there's family meetings, how do we communicate? It's like, okay, so the French hug and kiss, yet my family touch. So it's like the boundaries and the ways people have to step around each other, and that made me think of that across generations, across race. So it's interesting.
Oh, okay, we're getting a microphone in, so folks on the live feed can hear everybody. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
There's a very soothing, almost sexy, okay? Keep talking.
Almost sexy.
You gotta try harder, yes, try harder.
I guess what came up for me was just sort of the complexities involved in being a part of like a minority group. Like I come from a Muslim background, and for me to think of, I mean, how far have we come in our sort of organizations where there's availability, you know, being able to contact someone if you do need to talk, do you need to belong to some sort of group that's kind of outside of your familial, you know, community as well. And for me, it's like I just think how easy it is for me to just kind of Google and look up what organization I can belong to that kind of align with my values. But then if you maybe not live within the city and not have that sort of exposure through the media in print, I mean, where would you go? And it's overwhelming, and that kind of feels unraveling when you think about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you know about Salam?
No, to tell you the truth, no.
Oh,
no,
okay.
I didn't. I mean, for me, it's again, that's what I was thinking about when Farouk was sharing a story. I was like, wow, I should really look into that more. I know that there's like Muslim conferences, you know, that have to do with youth as well, and that's fantastic. But in terms of, you know, BT communities, I mean, what is out there right now? And that's something that I'd like to personally look into. Yeah.
What is the idea, the thought of having to phone a box and talk to a box about this stuff? How does that make you feel?
For me, it's frightening. It's because there's a sort of possibility that your call might be unanswered, and if it is unanswered, what does that mean? Where does that leave you? You know, and that's frightening. You know, it's already difficult to kind of stay with that dialogue within yourself and trying to find your group or your family, you know, or your community, but then being able, okay, there's a possibility, but what if that doesn't work out? And what if there's certain restrictions, you know, where you live at home and you have to have, you know, your phone answered by one of your parental figures? Then what do you do?
If they return it, they return that call, and they have to get through all that, navigate through all of that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And then where is a safe space, though? after that phone call is answered, where do you have that line of communication?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It almost seems like, especially if it's like the first time you've ever done this, you almost have to anticipate what the potential pitfalls could be, right? You actually don't know, and like it's hard to predict that really. Like, I can totally see things unexpectedly happening that out people or whatnot, right? Yeah, yeah.
I was thinking about Alfred's experience of coming from Vancouver and plopping himself down in Toronto, and thinking about myself if I find myself in a new center, that I'll often feel like I haven't actually explored that city or that area unless I've found a queer space or have got a sense of what the queer experience is like in that new place. And so I think it's interesting, the places that we look for. What are the cues that we know that we're in somewhere where there will be other queer people, and how do you access that then and now? I think it's an interesting discussion.
I had a thing. It's more like a question. Or, like, I'm not sure if I know. Like, because I know he referred to Xtra and Body Politic at the same time. Was Xtra running, like printing at the same time as Body Politic? Was there a period of time when they ran at the same time, or did it just get transferred to Xtra, and then eventually Body Politic just? Right. Okay, you're shaking your head, so that's a yes. Okay, because I was confused. I thought the papers ran together, and there was a time maybe then Body Politic and Xtra was two different entities. Do you see what I'm saying?
So it did.
But
change.
it wasn't. It did change. That's what he's saying. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I see
that. Is it worth Googling the audience for that? Or?
Should we, does anyone, let's ask, does anyone in the audience know? Have we explained the Google Audience thing?
No.
Oh, okay. So one of the things that we're doing, the reason we're having these discussions is to sort of show what younger folks, what's our knowledge base about the past and about, and when we hear a story from someone, what do we take in and how do we interpret it? And when we're kind of stuck and we don't know the answer to a question, what we're going to do is we're going to Google the audience and see if they know the answer. So let's Google. Does anyone out there know how that whole progression of Politic and Xtra happened? Anyone?
Nobody knows.
Nobody? Oh, there's two people talking. Do you folks know, or?
They're conferencing.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
All I understand is that the Body Politic stopped, and I'm not sure how long it was, but then Xtra started. So they certainly worked together.
Oh, was there a gap in between, or was it?
I don't think there was.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure about that.
Okay. Oh.
Stopped publication in 1987. I'm Googling.
On the iPhone, yes.
You'd expect somebody from, who works here would know.
Oh, okay.
How it got transferred and how long it took, yeah.
I remember.
Well, I just remember having all of the copies from day one to the last one, and finally deciding after the nth move, maybe they could go away. But that transition, I'm not sure of.
Oh, okay.
So it's two pages.
Okay. So we've got our first set of fresh writing from Nick. It's 2 pages. And let's see, we're going to hand this out to everybody. We've got a couple characters on here. Oops.
In terms of mic, where can I place this?
Yeah, I'm a little. Oh, there was an overlap.
Yeah, there was apparently a 3-year overlap.
A 3-year overlap. Okay, that's a little different. Yeah. Okay, that's good to know. So simultaneously, concurrently for 3 years. Okay.
Yeah, because from my understanding, and I may, it's limited, but my understanding is that Xtra started as an insert, as like a lifestyle insert in the Body Politic, which then, and one of the differences was that Xtra allowed advertising, because Body Politic wouldn't allow advertising because of its, I guess, mandate or its politics. And so, and then eventually Body Politic ceased publication and Extra took over, you know, both aspects.
And they,
that sounds kind of right.
Yeah.
Shake Google says Extra was founded in March of 1984, and that the Body Politic ceased publication in '87. So.
Okay. And would they were, I guess it kind of implies that they were separately run, or?
No, it was the same thing, I think, but it was just an insert inside.
Inside of it. Okay.
That allowed for advertising.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. All right. So let's look at this writing. We've got two characters, Craig and Diane. Let's have Jeff read for Craig, and then Diane. Let's go with Shaista, and see how this reads.
Hi. Hi, my name is Craig. My friend Diane told me to call you. She said that. Jeez. I thought someone would answer, but I guess not. Well, let's see. Where do I start? I'm new here. To Toronto, I mean. I just moved here 3 months ago. From Edmonton? Anyways, I met a girl named Diane in a class at university. I study nursing, but I guess you don't really need to know that. I'm sorry, I'm nervous. Anyways, Diane told me that she knows you and told me to call you. So here I am, calling you.
Shift.
Call them.
I'm going to.
Yeah. Well, you said that yesterday and the day before.
This time I mean it.
You said that too. Tonight, I mean it.
Maybe if I just go walking again tonight, just hit the strip and go walking, then maybe I'll just run into someone who'll show me around or something.
Right. And how has that been working out for you so far?
Not so good. It wasn't like this in Vancouver. I would for sure have gotten laid at least 3 times by now.
Call the number. Listen, the guy I know there, he's tapped in. He'll know where to send you. You'll be covered in cock by the end of the week.
Wow. Right? What's happening next? This is all true, exactly 100%. It's going to be called the Al Farouk story. Oh, goodness. Okay. Craig, what do you think's going on here? For Craig, yeah.
Well, simply, I feel like the need to reach out, like as an intention to play in the first part. It's like, I don't have a community, I don't have a tribe, yet I don't quite know how to reach out. And so I have a friend who's given me a tip, but I'm so hesitant because I've never reached out. So it's this sort of inner conflict of, I need to, yet I'm scared of, yet I need to. So let's jump into it, but sort of that balance.
Of it,
so I feel like the need, yet the fear.
Yeah, absolutely. And it sounds like it is one of those,
speech,
like we're calling into those boxes, those voice box things, right? It's that situation. Why do you think Vancouver was so different?
Well, I mean, in here at least it says it was easier to get laid.
Yeah.
So
Toronto.
I could interpret that a multitude of ways. Either I'm just wanting to awaken sexually, or I'm just trying to find people like me. Maybe this Craig hasn't yet actually met any other queers in the university classes he's been around, or there's multitudes of ways I can interpret this.
Yeah, at this point it's interesting because like if you're getting laid so much in Vancouver, it kind of implies that there's some social savvy, right?
Right.
And then here it's not there, or if
it's a different way. It's a different
way of it.
Wooing or courtship, maybe.
I wonder, yeah. And is it a case of where you've tried these, whatever you did in Vancouver, and just hit walls, and now you're resorting to this, or if you just had nothing and this is the first. I guess that thing, is it the first option or is this after?
Like,
I
as
wonder.
if
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Frank has ever tried going out to
Yeah,
places?
was what I'm wondering myself, right? 'Cause
I
that's-
wonder. It sounds like he's been trying. He's been going to the neighborhood, as Farouk would say. He's been going walking at nights, like the strips,
The parks,
places
the
people
walk,
would say.
yeah.
But maybe the etiquette isn't the same. So maybe he doesn't know how to. I don't know how it works, but
yeah,
I feel like the etiquette's different, or he himself is, I don't know, seemingly different.
Yes.
Sometimes you need like that person to like
show a little push.
Yeah, just you know, sometimes you have somebody who like becomes your friend, and then because you're two, it's cool to go to the clubs with. Because if you're by yourself, it's not that cool. You're just like the loner in the corner. I think that's what I'm done. That's just the feeling. Like, because she says, I listen. The guy I know there, he's tapped in, so he's hooked in. You know, so like if you become friends with him, then you become friends with a whole bunch of group of friends, and they're friends with a whole bunch of group of friends. So you're kind of in the crowd, as opposed to being on the outside. Do you know what I mean? I think that still exists today.
Oh yeah.
Like
yeah,
when I
yeah,
moved to
yeah.
Vancouver, like I was the outside, you know, and I was trying to find like where, because there's different cliques, right? Who hangs out with who, and you have to figure out who's hanging out with who, and then which clique you want to be a part of, so you can befriend one of them and then become part of that clique. You know what I mean? So I think I'm sure it exists here today.
And it reminds me, I was telling Jonathan earlier, but when I went to Montreal, I didn't speak any French. I was also didn't know how to explore the community either.
Yeah.
And then I found a job at Ben & Jerry's, and my boss was a drag queen, like a really popular drag queen in Montreal.
Really?
And that's how I got
What was he a drag queen at Ben & Jerry's?
No, no.
Oh.
No. But he
That
was
would
like
be.
a drag queen at night,
Oh.
and he served ice cream during the day. He was the
Okay.
manager. But that's how I got tapped in. And before that, I hadn't seen the neighborhood or the village in Montreal prior to that. And so I feel like that's a similar sort of finding someone to bring along with you or to.
It's that opening, finding that connection or that first thing, that first contact.
Yeah.
And when you move away, it's the first thing you notice. Because when you're in the city, I don't think we pay attention to how how many people we know and how kind of like tapped we are with the, you know, what's happening in the city. But when you move away, the moment you like go into a new city, it's like, oh, I don't know any, like, where, like, because you know you can read the listings of the parties, but you know where the cool party's at. You know what I mean? Like, but if you were tapped in, you would know that on Saturdays you should go to Buddies, and on Fridays you should go to somewhere else and not to Buddies. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that. Not that's. But I'm saying like also knowing like where exactly you should be going. I think because he says somebody will show me around because he knows where the places are. But like where to go to on that specific day.
I recall one of my first days in Toronto. I'm from Alberta originally, and a friend of mine was staying in Ryerson Residence. And so we left the Ryerson Res. She just had a room there for the summer, and so neither of us knew the city, and we just started walking in a direction. We didn't know what direction. And I knew that there was a gay village somewhere, and we ended up being on Church just south of Carleton, and it wasn't until we saw, I think it's the Molson ad with the two cowboys with one of them with his hand in the back pocket, that I kind of went, okay, I think I found the village. And they've painted over that now. It's on the barn, I think, the side of the barn. Yeah, it's something else now. How would I know without that mural? That's right. That's right.
I'm also thinking about like everyone has that one pushy friend, like when you're just coming out who's like, you should go here, you should go there, like not maybe considering the sort of emotional turmoil that's going on as like getting out there and knowing where to go. That sort of pressure that is there. I mean, although like looking at Diane and being like, okay, great, she's just trying to make sure that he's comfortable and connected, but I'm also going, the thought behind that is like how difficult it would be for somebody who is new to the city or new to town to be able to step out. You know, you can be guided towards the right direction, but is that the right place for you to go? Maybe, maybe not.
I already have a mic on me. I shouldn't be holding. I feel like I'm double holding my mics. Nick, how are we doing for? Keep on talking. All right, we're gonna talk. Yeah, I know. So I mean, this is a short scene. It's only a page and a third so far. So there's lots to develop with these characters that we're gonna find out very, very soon. Let's talk a bit more about this era then, going back to some of Al-Farouk's stories about it. Were there other, I know that we sort of interrupted that conversation because of the printed pages. Were there other questions or thoughts that folks had?
Oh, I think I got it right in terms of what Al-Farouk was saying, but in terms of like in the script where Craig says it wasn't like this in Vancouver, just that difference between the two cities and the difference between, it sounded like Vancouver at that time was more diverse in terms of the gay scene, and the Toronto was much more kind of ghettoized, right? So like, and it feels like maybe that's part of Craig's experience in the script. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that sense of like in Vancouver there was more mixing? I don't know. And that may be part of the experience here. And I thought that was an interesting distinction between Vancouver and Toronto, because one might make the claim the opposite way now.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it, from my, actually I don't know. I can't speak too clearly about that, but I appreciated that distinction, and it just made me think about how our communities are divided. They are separated.
My experience of going to smaller centers, gay bars in smaller centers, is that I'll often note how much mixing there's going on, where in a larger center you can have a bar just for this person or just for this type, whereas when there are less options, there tends to be more of a congregation or more of a community feel, and so you'll see the drag queens and the bears and the lesbians, like everyone's just there because that's where you go tonight, whatever tonight is. Oh no! Oops, sorry.
That's sort of, I guess, that to me I've actually found a bit interesting that there was that kind of observation about the difference with Vancouver at that time. And that makes a lot of sense that you bring that up. If, for example, is Nick, so Craig, do we have an ethnicity for Craig right now?
Chinese.
Chinese? Okay.
Yes, Chinese.
Oh, how perfect! And we have a Chinese actor. Amazing. Like the idea of, for example, if it was more segregated at that time, trying to access certain populations, it wouldn't be as you know what I mean? If you had access to certain sort of one part of the community, if it was segregated, it wouldn't have access to the rest of it, kind of thing. So that's also probably part of that reaction, right?
Sure,
or perhaps those are the walls we're talking about,
right?
That were there. Okay, so what do we have here? Okay, this is a new character, Adam. Is there anything we should know about Adam?
Adam is in present day.
Present day Adam. Okay. Who looks like an Adam to me right now? Who looks like an Adam? Who looks present day? You know what? I think Ingrid looks present day right now. So let's have Ingrid read Adam.
Do we need the microphone? Hey, first time doing the internet dating thing. Just checking it out. I like nice dinners and long walks on the beach. Jokes! Anyways, I'm new to the city and I'm looking for friends. Not really into the scene, but I like being a part of what's going on. Just nothing to try hard, you know? I'm into the house and indie music scene, so I'm looking for the good spots that have that going on. So hit me up if you've got sick connections. Or not. Whatevs. That's not me at all. Well, I have lots of questions, but we'll see because I think he's going to bring some more. But is he? I'm guessing this is like an internet thing that he's typing.
Yeah.
It's an online profile. That's what I thought.
Okay.
Yeah. Something about the house music, which is really cool, because I really don't like house music. But I've noticed how house music is such a huge thing in the gay male community. And like yesterday, one of the servers at the place I work at, she was like, "Are you going to this DJ's party?" You know, and I was like, "No." And she was just like, "Oh, but you're gay, right?" So she just assumed that I would go to like a house DJ place, which is so interesting because I've always noticed that house music is like prevalent in the gay community. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out.
What about indie music scene?
Yeah, I think a lot of people say that, but a lot of people don't mean it. That's my opinion. I don't think he means that. I think he's just trying to sound cool.
It's a cool thing to
like,
say.
I'm
that.
into the house music and indie music. Like, you know, I don't listen to Britney and Madonna, and you know, because there's a little bit of discrimination against men who like Britney or Madonna online.
Is it really?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
How so?
Well, I certainly have found it to be like, because you like Britney and Madonna, there's a certain, I mean, I think it stems from the idea of masculinity. Like, you're not butch enough because you're listening to Britney and Madonna, right? So I think that's what the source of it is. So you can't, I mean, there's two things there. You can be butch and listen to Britney and Madonna, for sure. But also, there's nothing wrong with not being butch and still listening to, you know? But definitely online, if you say that, if that's your thing, like, I love Britney, you know, there's a certain, you're putting yourself in a certain category, and you're probably not going to get certain kinds of hits from people.
Okay.
For sure. I know that I had to, like, you know, I was out about being gay, but not necessarily out about loving Britney.
Oh.
I have to hide that fact.
I think there's a question
for
about
sure.
what house music is, and the audience can
Oh, what's house music? Oh, I can't. I don't think I don't listen to house music, so I can't really define it, but let's Google the audience.
Dance beats, very electronic, no instrumental, very, I don't know, I don't want to use the word synthetic, but that comes to my mind. It's more like, electronic, finding whatever beats your console or your system can make and putting them together. So I think it's a different kind of amalgamation of sounds that is not as organic as instruments. Yeah.
Oh, were you gonna? Yeah. Oh,
yeah. I was just kind of thinking about the stark difference between the first sort of scene that we read and then this one over here, you know, with Craig having this sort of urgency to find community or dating or partners out there. And then with this one with Adam is like, yeah, you know, if I get some cock on Friday night, it's all good. But if I don't, it doesn't matter. So it's just a sort of the difference of like knowing that there's some sort of like community or way to have fun or go to queer places and spaces because they exist. Right? They are here. They like multiple of them. And then back then it wasn't as accessible too. So I'm just kind of looking at the differences between the two. Yes.
Oh, okay. Pass the mic.
Thank you very much. Sorry. Yes. So a comment on the difference as well. Craig had to call an ad to find some way to get connected into the community. But Adam literally just has to drop a fish hook and sit and like nothing. And he could peruse through pictures of people, and there's just so much access, so much instant access to dating sites, chat sites where you can communicate on all levels, right? Just sex or just friends, and there's just so many outlets for that. Versus Craig, who's limited to an ad and the phone. Yes. That's my comment.
Yeah. No, absolutely. We're definitely getting sort of a contrast between then and now with these two characters and how their sort of viewpoint on dating and just their approach to it and what it means to them and everything. Adam, like, what do you think? Actually, is there? Do we? Yeah, this is slightly unrelated. But can we tell
sorry,
by,
I wanted to add
go
something
ahead.
because there's something really funny to me, at least, about the fact that it says first time doing the internet dating thing.
Yeah.
Just checking it out, like, because there's also a certain kind of stigma about being online
for a long time.
So like, but if it's just you were just checking it out, I mean, so yeah. So I don't know if he's lying there or not. Well, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna make the choice that he's lying for right now.
Yes, that's what I think. I think it's all up front, right?
Yeah.
That you're putting on
I know my profile said that for a long time.
Your profile-
Right?
Yeah.
Because again, it's I guess it's just about fitting in and just becoming.
Do a lot of profiles say that on?
I don't know. I haven't been online in a few years now, but
I think a lot of them. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, go.
I think a lot of them say, if you want to know more about me, just ask. Because a lot of people put down. I guess don't want to spend the time to put down their whatever they like or personality traits, or they don't want to be detailed, and it's almost cooler to say, well, if you want to know, inquire within.
With that attitude.
Yeah, with that attitude. As if to like maintain, I'm just here for fun, or I don't really care. So let's just see what happens.
Do we think like is online dating ever sort of the first point of contact for someone with the queer community?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a confessional about my life.
But this character
and
is
it's
nothing
being,
like
you know,
you, right?
everybody
As
knows.
you said at the beginning.
But for sure, I mean, definitely like apps like Grindr have made it so easy to. You don't need to find friends or to have Diane who's going to call this other friend and then call that friend and become friends with that. You know what I mean? Like right now, you can just go on Grindr and let's say you're in Chicago for the weekend, you can just make friends right away, and then they'll tell you where to go, and they'll probably come and party with you if they want to, and it's so easy to just find connections and find where the party's at, or I mean, definitely so easy to hook up. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But the other thing I was going to say, there's a need that or that I think he has in terms of wanting to find somebody, which is the same need that Craig has, but they're communicating it differently. Like, I think Adam's being so kind of like chill and cool about it, which I find is the attitude, generally speaking, today. What Craig is, that need is more upfront and more honest. Like, I'm going to call him. I'm just a little nervous about it, but I'm going to call him, like, and so it's interesting that the need to find someone hasn't really changed. I think the way we go about it maybe has. Yeah.
It's so uncool to be honest about it these days, though. I feel that. I feel that way.
Yeah.
I know I've met like tons of couples who, if I speak to them one-on-one, oh, we met online, but don't say anything. We just tell people that we've met through friends. But Match.com, what do they say? Over 1 in 5 couples today have met online or met their partner or spouse online. So it's happening. Why be ashamed? I don't know. There's a stigma, I guess. But if you're doing it, just be proud. You found someone, Not everybody does. Not everybody's very lucky.
Absolutely. Okay, we're getting some new pages.
And
Yeah,
one
for sure.
question that I'm curious about in terms of the difference between these two scenes, the contemporary and the older one, is that Craig's phone call. Is he calling? It seems like he's calling for like an association or a club or a community group, and that Adams is more just to meet someone, to hook up. So that this feels to me, I don't know if that's a fair generalization, but there's also a difference now that as Al Farouk was saying, there's a certain level of acceptance of GLBT people, there's a certain level of human rights, a certain level of kind of more visibility, that the need to build communities, strong, resilient communities for support is less, and therefore the emphasis is more on a personal, like, how do I hook up online kind of thing, rather than how do I build relationships with people that I can identify with, and therefore fight adversity or make progressive steps for our community. And I wonder if there's something that's been lost along the way because of those gains in other places. That just strikes me in terms of how they're articulating themselves differently in the two scenes. That seems like that may be an aspect too.
Yeah, I know. I definitely got that at the beginning of the scene with Craig and whatnot. That's the thing that was interesting to me, because at the end, Diane's talking about literally that you're still meeting these people to hook up, right? Which I thought was an interesting turn. I wasn't expecting that.
That's right. That's right.
And that'll be interesting to see how that progresses, right? Is it a genuine? Is it to hook up, or is it for this community?
Yeah.
Right, for Craig?
Or both.
Probably both. Yeah, absolutely. So. Okay, new pages. Slowly but surely, this puzzle is being put together piece by piece. Is this? Okay, hold on. So this is an addition now. So we had that monologue from Adam, that online thing, and we've got additional pages now. So it's a scene. So let's keep Adam as Indrid. And we have Jay, and is it just Jay? Who can you tell us a bit about Jay, Nick?
He's a guy that is chatting with Adam online.
Okay. So this is who wants to chat? Do you want to chat? Do you feel like chatting, or do you feel like chatting? Yeah, I'll let you choose. You can chat? Okay, go for it. Okay, we've got our chatter, Jay.
Or I guess it's like this. So skipping the monologue.
Should we take it from?
Yeah, skip the first monologue and go straight to. Oh, it's Adam again. Yeah, move to Toronto.
To Toronto.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Salam.
Oh.
I gotta go, but this is awesome. If I can come back, I will.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Oh yes, thank you. Al Farouk is leaving the building.
Exit stage left.
Moved to Toronto for work. Just seems like a better place to get noticed, I guess. So far it's been different. Toronto people are snobby. Jokes again. I'm just joking. No, there have been some good peeps, just a little few and far between.
Hey,
Hey, smiley face.
free to chat?
Sure.
What are you doing?
Chilling.
Cool.
You?
Chilling too.
Cool. What's going on tonight?
What are you into?
Party?
What type of party?
Dance.
Nothing. Toronto is terrible.
LOL.
I'm joking. There's lots. If you want to hit a dance party, you can go to Fly later. Mostly jocks. Buddies is okay. If you're into top 40 Twinkie.
Ew.
Yeah. There are some queer West parties too, but a bit of a trek. But they're dope.
What about cruise?
Downstairs baby gays, upstairs total blackout party.
Sounds okay.
You into that?
No, I was joking.
Wow. Okay. It's so interesting. Last year, I directed a piece where someone did online chatting to gay guys, and it's almost exactly the same script, which is interesting. Okay, do we know all the terms here?
LOL.
What is that?
Stands for laugh out loud.
Laugh out loud, yeah.
Twink.
What's a twink?
Oh no, we're just going to that. We can Google the audience because there's different definitions.
Yeah. Okay. Are we doing it? We're Googling. Okay. Let's Google the audience. Oh look, I think someone over here.
What's a twink?
What's a twink?
Isn't it an acronym? Like, I thought it was based off of a Twinkie.
Off a Twinkie?
Similarities.
A cream-filled pastry.
I thought it was an acronym.
For.
Like a funny little acronym.
slim, young, probably hairless boy. So if you're a little bit overweight, you don't fit the twink. Sorry? If you're overweight, let's say you don't fit the twink thing. Probably not. Probably not? You have to be slim. You have to be slim to be a twink. And young, and very young. Okay.
Okay.
There's a definition.
Okay.
I mean, I thought that twink was also associated with like being young for sure and flamboyance. Like if you were flamboyant.
Like twinkle.
Yeah.
Glittery.
Yeah. Yeah, like
Is
glittery.
it? Oh,
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
But I think there's different people have different definitions of what a twink is. I know that I was called a twink when I was younger. And it kind of shocked me, but.
Teenage white into no kink.
Oh.
Okay.
Teenage
Vanilla.
white, so it's racially specific.
And no kink.
You can never be a twink. Teenage white and not into kink.
Not into kink.
Vanilla
Okay.
sex only.
Vanilla sex.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for that Google. What else? Other terms here? Do people know what a blackout party is?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Upstairs at Cruise,
Yep. Yep.
It's not the bathroom of the Black Eagle. That's a different blackout party.
Yeah.
Dope. Would that count as a term?
People know what dope is.
Queer with a W?
Yeah. It's Queen West queer.
Yeah.
Queer West.
I like that.
That's nice. Okay. Any thoughts on this, you two chatters?
I like that I'm giving advice, or that I'm playing a tour guide, I guess.
Because probably what's going to follow is, like, do you want to go together? You know, maybe?
That'd be nice.
I'm not asking you. I'm saying in the scene, Cole.
So I'll see you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I was thinking about too, and I like how specific it gets.
Mhm.
How there's a different space for. And I can't quite remember how Al Farouk spoke about it in terms of the different, because he was listing quite a few different places too, of bars that he went to. Like he had a good experience and familiarity with the gayborhood, and here that kind of specificity again. What we're talking about, like specificity of what kind of person goes to what club at what time at what night, you know, because the community has grown and has a certain level of acceptance again that it's. You know, it's visible in a different way, and there's spaces for different kinds of people. Or like Cole was saying about a small town gay bar, you only have one option, so everyone's going to go there.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Oh, totally. And we're not on one street anymore. Now we're stretching out over the city,
Yeah.
right? Which is a big difference. New pages. Is this connected in any way, Nick, or is this a new scene?
It connects to the first one with Craig.
Okay.
You know, page 1 and 2 with Craig and Diane.
Uh-huh.
You can this one starts on page 2.
Okay.
So all the internet stuff is put aside for now.
Okay, so we're back to Craig and Diane on this.
Thank you.
So we're back in time, and we're going back to Craig and Diane talking about that phone call.
There's a new character, Gloria.
There's a new character, Gloria.
And
And John?
Yeah.
Okay, so Gloria, Amanda, and John is Jonathan. All right. Let's go from the new pages. Right after the shift, so Craig's first line, so I mean.
So I mean, it's not like I exactly need to be covered in cock, but 1 or 2 wouldn't hurt. Sorry. Anyways,
So she said if I called here, someone would give me some tips about where I can go to meet some people or something. I don't know. I guess I'm surprised it's been so hard. I mean, I just keep looking. I keep looking for someone that looks like... Sorry, I mean, I went to Comrades on a Thursday about 2 months back because I was told I'd find some other Asians there. Oh yeah, I'm Chinese. I don't know if I mentioned that. Anyways, I went there on a Thursday. And when I walked in, there was this big man standing in my way. I mean, a really big man. Practically blocked the doorway. And I went to sneak past. He kind of laughed a bit. So I said, what?
Won't find what you're looking for in there.
What?
They're all at Chaps on Thursdays now.
Who?
Your friends.
I'm not aware of really having any friends.
Okay.
So can I go in?
You can.
So I went in, even though I knew I shouldn't. But I just can't help it. If someone says, please don't touch, I'm going to touch, you know? It was like winter in Winnipeg in there. Nothing but white. I didn't go to Chaps. I didn't go anywhere. I guess I just keep looking for me out there. But I'm not seeing it. I don't see me in any of it. I did check out Glad Day. There was a nice girl working there. We talked a bit.
You find what you're looking for?
And then some. This shop is amazing.
What did you pick? Breaking Bread, Insurgent Black Intellectual Life. Bell hooks, hey? Sounds like a party.
Yeah, big plans this weekend.
Things a little slow in the old social calendar?
Afraid so.
Ironic book to pick up. Not a lot of breaking bread in this community. People sleep together, but they don't break bread.
What are you doing this weekend?
Directing amateur feminist lesbian porn at my friend's place.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd invite you, but...
I'm good, I'm good.
Is that everything for you?
Think so.
Great. Enjoy your wild weekend, hun.
I think we should hear more about Gloria. I want to see about this, like, amateur feminist porn. Let's stage that.
Helpful staff.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes, and very open and honest.
At her friend's place. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Gloria.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So Gloria definitely has been in the community for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Because she definitely speaks from a place of expertise in terms of just giving Craig some advice on what the community's like in terms of, yeah, people touch each other here, but they're not really quick to be your friend.
Mm-hmm.
Very open, and what else? Comfortable with her sexuality. Yeah. Maybe they'll become friends, better friends later.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. I find that even now at Glad Day, the staff will talk, right?
Okay.
As soon as you come in, it's actually quite social, right? You can go in, and some people will be there for hours just talking, and it is that kind of place for that. So this makes a lot of sense that you know that's there, and there's someone like Gloria talking that way. Yeah, it totally does. So
Perfect.
yeah, absolutely. When do you think this happened in time? Like, we have a lot of shifts going on in the script, like time shifts. And I'm just trying to, after that first read, I'm trying to figure out, did this happen? What do you have a sense of what the timeline is here?
Yeah, I feel like going to, where does he go? Where's that? The club or, yeah, the club is Comrades. So Comrades I feel is first, and then Glad Day Bookshop, and then the phone call, and the conversation with Diane, and then the phone call is the most present day.
Of the three so far. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. What do you think he thinks of this Glad Day experience?
I feel like it opened up his mind. It's like,
totally.
Whoa, there's someone who's so radical in their sort of view of sexuality. And I feel like Craig doesn't come from that world. So it's sort of opening up his eyes. Yeah.
So the arc is kind of club not feeling that connection, seeing this possibility, and then wanting to reach out with this calling. I like saying calling the box. I don't know why, but
Right. Well,
yeah,
I get
for that. Yeah.
And Craig is learning about the city through personal face-to-face contact with John and Gloria as well, versus the previous scene with Adam and Jay. Information is being exchanged via internet. So you're making connections. Craig is making real life connections in his new community, and as he's feeling through the clubs, and now he found what seems like a safe place at the bookstore.
Right. I don't know
explore.
whether or not safe would be the exact word,
Maybe
just
not.
because he seems quite shocked at what you're
Yes.
proposing about the lesbian porn. But I think at least a sort of curiosity is piqued.
Yes.
As opposed to distancing from. I feel like Craig's club experience was very much alienation, whereas this is curiosity and just an appetite is being raised.
Yeah, like
As
he might
opposed
go
to an
back.
appetite
He
shot.
might go back there and
Exactly.
engage more.
As
that sort
opposed
of
to
thing.
going back to the club to engage more. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and are there hints of racism at that club? As far as they're all at chaps on Thursdays now? Your friends?
Absolutely.
Yikes.
Yeah, like is that what am I reading into that?
No, that's totally it.
There.
Exactly. I'm not aware of having any friends. Okay.
But on site, it's clear that your friends aren't here.
Your friends aren't here. Exactly.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's interesting to note as well. I wonder how much it relates to the storyteller's experience of being a racial minority amongst a queer community. Because it's, from personal experience, going to a club and then communicating with actual queer people, it's being perceived in two different ways. When I'm at the club, I am seen as prey/predator. So there's all these shades of whatever racial qualities fit into the queer community as well. So I wonder how it relates to the storytellers.
Yeah.
So it's just
I mean,
interesting.
the implication is that it was more intense. It
Yeah,
seems so, right?
exactly.
Back then, for sure.
Or if you're accepted as a certain category of Gaysian or whatever minority you are, yeah. So it's interesting to note that in this.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing actually that makes me wonder too is if the bouncer dude says, "Oh, chaps is where, let's say, all the Asians are on Thursdays," did Craig go?
Right.
Right, because that would be a totally different club experience. Or just a thought.
Right.
Yeah.
I wonder.
I guess because he's seeking out somebody who looks like him or similar to him or like him, but what does that mean? Does that mean in terms of looking for someone who is gay and Asian, or just someone who is gay? And what's better, to go through, with somebody that's of the same culture, like find a group with them, or trying to integrate into Winnipeg, if that's what you want to call it?
Right.
Yeah.
In terms of Craig's character and how that's going to form. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we've got some new pages. We're back to our chatting. This is going back and forth. I hope how are folks feeling at this going back and forth thing? Is it feeling okay following that? I'm just wondering. Yeah, we're good. Yeah. Oh, so we okay. Good to know. Good to know. Let's go with Jay and Adam. Let's read this.
The new pages.
Yeah, new pages only.
What are you looking for?
I told you. Party.
I mean, online?
I don't know. Squiggly face.
Oh.
You?
Dates, hookup, NSA, whatever.
Oh, same.
Cool.
What's your type?
Mask, professional, nice body, funny, smart. No rice, good guy all around.
No rice?
No Asians. Are you Asian?
Albanian.
Is that
I'm not Asian.
Cool. Not that it's a huge deal. Just not my type, you know?
I know, you can't help who you're attracted to.
Who are you attracted to?
I don't have a type, I mean just the normal stuff. Funny, nice, employed, decent body, and not queenie, you know?
Oh, I know.
I mean, I hate it when you see a cute guy and then they open their mouth and it's queenie.
It's the worst.
ITFW.
Huh?
It's the fucking worst.
Oh no.
Wow, okay.
Can someone give me a definition of NSA?
No strings attached.
Thank you.
Somebody knows. Right.
I typed it out a few times. Yikes. I've definitely heard of my friends that have Grindr. Love it. Not this part, but I love that they have Grindr. I love looking at Grindr. But what I'm going to say is people looking for mask, or people specifically masculine, wanting that, but wanting that in particular, masculine, not queenie. Yeah, and it's almost like that's discrimination within the community in itself. And I don't know, can want someone else, like, I guess, who has to face that or has heard more about that, can talk about it in terms of being male and not wanting queenie.
Makes it so obvious that if you're not masculine, then you're not going to be as wanted as other people who are. So, yeah, it is sad. I don't know what else to say about that, but it's the truth. Yeah. And I just was going to add that, like, not only is there, you're right in terms of the discrimination, but there's also, like, an addition to the discrimination, there's like racial discrimination constant, that even when you notice it, you don't say anything on top of that. Like, instead of you saying, like, you know, I was expecting the reply to be not what the reply was, but then I realized that probably would be the reality, like, that the conversation would still go on as if he didn't just say no rice. And, like, there's no flagging of maybe that being completely inappropriate, you know? But somehow allowing it to be all right, you know?
Well, and even that there's this cutesy way of saying something really offensive and awful, like, it's clouding it, or it's like hiding behind this sort of saying. That to me speaks to the prevalence of how frequent that is, and how accepted it is that the conversation just keep going instead of that being a full stop.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in engaging with you.
Yeah, well, it seems like they're both, like, one says no rice and the other one says no queens. So there's a prejudice going on both sides, which is probably why they allow room for it. It's like, oh, well, you can't help who you're into. Seems to be the mentality, justification of it. Going back to the term I didn't understand, NSA. Does that mean, like, you have sex with someone, no strings attached, means
no relationship?
But does it? What if things go well? Or what?
It's too late. You typed
What
those 3 letters. It's too late.
Like, what if I want to have a relationship with this person? I'm interested in pursuing it, but because as NSA is.
Oh my God, go back to Queen West.
I don't even know what that means.
NSA is like it's a lifestyle. It's people who are looking for some unattached fun.
Yes.
So part of the deal is you aren't getting together to talk about your life.
So it's not even gonna happen. It's not even in the.
You know, an
NSA
hookup might not even involve much talking.
So
I think the point is that they don't want someone who does that isn't exactly looking for someone who's going to try to engage them on that extra level. That's kind of what's, I think, hot and uncomplicated about it.
And
I'm sorry about my derogatory comment about.
But what does that mean? What does that mean? Why should I go back to Queen West?
Well, where all the monogamists live. I'm gonna go back to writing.
But I think it's similar to maybe like, because we don't have the concept of like hooking up at the park, you know, which, I mean, maybe people, I don't know, I shouldn't speak about that because maybe people did meet at the park and it evolved into a relationship. But I think there was not a lot of talking, I can imagine, and it was just kind of like down and dirty, right? And maybe there was talking after. I'm not sure, but I think for online, when you say NSA, that just means like, I'm not interested in talking to you about your day.
Yeah.
I'm interested in how close you are to me and how physically attracted I am to you. Yeah.
And also that I have no responsibility
Yes.
in changing your opinion or your views or your prejudice,
Yeah.
whatever. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
And if you decide to fall for me, you knew
Yeah, right
from the get-go
Yeah.
that it was NSA.
Back to the, just quickly, the no rice thing, like the other terms maybe. Chocolate I've heard, like
other
chocolate
terms.
please,
Yes.
vanilla only, no chubs, no chasers. There's a site called,
I've heard Rice Queen.
yes, highly derogatory. There's a website, douchebags on Tumblr, douchebags on Grindr, I think. You can just take a look and you will see the discrimination. It's all the different terms that you can imagine, and some will just go on and on about this is what I want, and if you don't fit this, which is quite often all-American boy, beach body, blonde, blue eyes, those things.
Once fellow all-American boy.
Right.
Yeah.
There was once where it was like coffee only, I think I saw, which would
As
be
in
like
Coffee only.
coffee only, a light-skinned, darker hand-looking person.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Wow.
anyway.
That's
Well, and the
crazy.
difference between no rice and rice queen, as I understand it, is that there's people that are not looking for Asian people, and there are people that are specifically only looking. And that's a different type of offensive preference, where you're only interested in something because it's exotic or because it's something you think it is, as opposed to seeing a person in front of you and being interested in them for being who they are, as opposed to what they are, I don't, or what you think they are, I guess.
Totally. Nick, how much more of the script is there?
Not totally sure.
Not totally sure. It's still going. It's still growing. Okay, cool. It's interesting to me, like, with that, just in a present day context, if we're talking about sort of these, like Grindr or any kind of online connection. In my head, I always think it's sort of this place where people can be a lot less uncensored, right? Censored? No, uncensored. Yeah, that's right. Yes, right. And they can just say what, for example, these kind of things. These are their preferences, right? That you wouldn't say to someone to their face, right? That kind of thing. These sort of things come out where it's sort of this. There's that anonymity, that safety to express yourself with anonymity. And then in our past scene, we have it where it's essentially right in front of with it's the bouncer and. What's your character's name? Craig, together face to face, and we don't get that. It's all innuendo. It doesn't have that kind of thing. So we have already another contrast there. But the other thing that's interesting is it's also visual. We're like in the past we had this whole visual cue where essentially the bouncer sees Craig and throws all this stuff on him, right? And that's how the interaction happens. Whereas online now, you two. You don't know if he's Asian when you say that, right? You're just kind of fishing. You're trying to figure this out, right? Because there's no visual cue. And I almost take it as the connotation is no rice is a bad thing, and you're you're happy that you're not that in that situation, right? That's actually what you're happy about. Like, oh, my chances of hooking up with this guy is not decreased because I'm not on this negative list. It feels like that kind of thing. But that's just in my head right now in terms of this contrast and things like that. I'm already thinking about how to stage this, but I'm also curious how far we are along, which we won't know because Nick's concentrating on writing and ignoring me. Huh?
You want to get up on your feet or whatever. It's probably 3/4 the way.
We're 3/4. Okay. Okay, great. Let me think this through for a second, how to do this. And is there an order for the pages? Or
You're gonna get that. I just don't have it to you yet.
Okay.
So the part that is that's numbered, the pages that are numbered.
Yeah.
So all of the old timey stuff, like 1990.
Yeah.
Old timey. All of the stuff that's set in the past. Let's say that is chronological.
Okay.
And then the stuff that's set now.
Yeah.
Just I would suggest you just leave that for now.
Don't touch it.
Well, it's gonna be throughout.
It's interesting. Yes, that's exactly what it
I
is.
just don't know how yet.
You don't know how yet. Do you want me to try to stick it in randomly?
I am always up for just sticking it in.
Yeah. All right, we're
Hi,
gonna do
Mom.
that. That's exactly what we're gonna do. It's so interesting you said that, Nick, because I felt like that. That's what I felt like. I felt like this.
We have hive mind.
Yes, right? Yeah, right? I felt that. I felt that the chatting was supposed to be interspersed amongst this narrative. So, okay, the narrative's quite short right now. It's like 4 or 5 pages. You know what I'm gonna do? Just to show how thought out this is, I'm gonna randomly take these pages and just kind of stick them into the scenes, and we're gonna read that and see how that goes. So let's take that first page and let's put it after hold on. The call the number line, Diane's call the number line. Does that make sense? Where that shift is? Okay, let's stick the first page of Adam and Jay, and yeah, let's put that first page in there for now. And then we're gonna go to Craig and Diane, continuing their conversation.
Sorry, that first page of
John and Craig, yeah.
I mean, Adam and Jay, where does that first page end?
The first one is, hey, first time doing internet dating, just checking it out. I like nice dinners and long walks on the beach.
Yes, and then how long does it go?
We're just gonna do that one
one
page.
Cool You.
Yeah, it's gonna end on Cool You. Yeah. Okay. Then we're gonna keep going with Craig and Diane, and then we're gonna shift to John and Craig. And at the end of the John and Craig scene, before Gloria, we're gonna finish that Jay scene, Jay and Adam. So from chilling to haha. And then we're gonna read the Gloria Craig scene. And then we're going to read the last Jay and Adam scene. Let's see how that reads. Okay, so do we have the order, or how are we doing there? We're arranging?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we okay, Amanda?
I think, wait. So first,
Uh-huh.
so Craig the first page, Adam the second page, Craig the third page. We're gonna go all the way to before Gloria. Because Gloria is the first.
Did someone?
Do you want to
Starts
just
at the
call
bottom
it
of
out?
page
I think
3.
I got it.
You got it?
Do you want to call it out as we go?
Okay. Me? Yeah. Okay.
Or like you could, because we go to the first shift, by the end of Cupboard and Cockpit of the week shift.
Yeah.
Adam, right?
Okay. Yeah, I'll call out my thing. I'll call it. Oh, what's this
Call
order?
it read it.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Okay. So what we're gonna do is, oh gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm so horrible with trying to remember random characters' names right on the spot. Adam and Jay are which one? You're Jay. And you're Adam. So what we're gonna do, since you guys are online and you don't know what you look like, I'm gonna put you on extreme ends of this room and you're not gonna look at each other. So Cole, get over here. Indrid, all the way on that end.
Are we standing?
Yeah, get up. And then for you folk, let's just keep you tight and packed right now, and I'm just gonna watch this read and see how that feels. But the idea is that we're gonna convey the sense that back in the ancient times of 1990, things were a lot closer with people, and we're gonna so it's that idea of let's that interaction, that personable nature is there amongst you as you sit and read. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, hi. Hi. My name is Craig. My friend Diane told me to call you. She said that. Jeez. I thought someone would answer, but
guess not. Well, let's see. Where do I start? I'm new here. To Toronto, I mean. I just moved here 3 months ago. From Edmonton? Anyways, I met a girl named Diana in a class at university. I study nursing, but I guess you don't really need to know that. Sorry. I'm nervous. Anyways, Diane told me that she knows you and told me to call you. So here I am, calling you.
Call them.
I'm going to.
Yeah, well, you said that yesterday and the day before.
This time I mean it.
You said that too. Tonight, I mean it.
Maybe if I just go walking again tonight, just hit the strip and go walking, then maybe I'll just run into someone who will show me around or something.
Right. And how has that been working out for you so far?
Not so good. It wasn't like this in Vancouver. I would for sure have gotten late 3 times by now, at least.
Call the number. Listen, the guy I know there, he's tapped in. He'll know where to send you. You'll be covered in cough by the end of the week.
Hey, first time I'm doing the internet dating thing, just checking it out. I like nice dinners and long walks on the beach. Jokes. Anyways, I'm new to the city and I'm looking for friends. Not really into the scene, but I like being a part of what's going on. Just nothing to try hard, you know? I'm into the house and indie music scene, so I'm looking for the good spots that have that going on. So hit me up if you've got sick connections or not. Whatevs. Moved to Toronto for work, just seems like a better place to get noticed, I guess. So far it's been different. Toronto people are snobby. Jokes, again, I'm joking. No, there have been some really good peeps, just a little few and far between.
Hey.
Hey, smiley face.
Free to chat?
Sure.
What are you doing?
Chilling.
Cool.
You?
So I mean, it's not like I exactly need to be covered in caulk, but 1 or 2 wouldn't hurt. Sorry. Anyway, so she said if I called here, someone would give me some tips about where I can go to meet some people or something. I don't know. I guess I'm surprised it's been so hard. I mean, I just keep looking. I keep looking for someone that looks like... Sorry, I mean, I went to Comrades on a Thursday about 2 months back because I was told I'd find some other Asians there. Oh yeah, I'm Chinese. I don't know if I mentioned that. Anyways, I went there on a Thursday, and when I walked in, there was this big man standing in my way. I mean, a really big man, practically blocked the doorway. And when I went to sneak past, he kind of laughed a bit, so I said, what?
Won't find what you're looking for in there.
What?
They're all at Chaps on Thursdays
Oh wait,
now?
let's go to. Oh no, hold on. Wait, we're shifting to Jay and Adam before the John and Craig. Sorry about that. Can we get?
Chilling too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chilling too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we get? So can we just get that last line from Craig?
Yes.
Yeah.
What? What?
Chilling too. Cool. What's going on tonight?
What are you into?
Party.
What type of party?
Dance.
Nothing. Toronto's terrible.
LOL.
I'm joking. There's lots. If you want to hit a dance party, you can go to Fly later, mostly jocks. Buddies is okay if you're up for a top 40 Twinkie.
Ew.
Yeah. There's some queer West parties too, bit of a trek. But they're dope. What about Cruise? Downstairs, baby gays. Upstairs, total blackout party.
Sounds okay.
You're into that?
No. I was joking.
Won't find what you're looking for in there.
What?
They're all at Chaps on Thursdays now.
Who?
Your friends?
I'm not really aware of having any friends.
Okay.
So can I go in?
You can.
I went in. Even though I knew I shouldn't, but I just can't help it. If someone says, please don't touch, I'm going to touch, you know? It was like winter in Winnipeg there. Nothing but white. I didn't go to Chaps. I didn't go anywhere.
I guess I just kept looking for me out there, but I'm not seeing it. I don't see me in any of it. I did check out Glad Day. There was a nice girl working there. We talked a bit.
You found what you're looking for?
And then some. This shop is amazing.
What did you pick? Breaking Bread, Insurgent Black Intellectual Life. Bell Books, eh? Sounds like a party.
Yeah, big plans this weekend.
Things a little slow in the old social calendar.
Afraid so.
Ironic book to pick up. Not a lot of breaking bread in this community. People sleep together, but they don't break bread.
What are you doing this weekend?
Directing an amateur feminist lesbian porn at my friend's place.
Oh,
Yeah, I'd invite you, but
I'm good.
is that everything for you?
I think so.
Great, enjoy your wild weekend, hon.
What are you looking for?
I told you, a party.
I mean, online. Ooh, I'm reading your lines.
You are.
Sorry.
What are you looking for?
I told you, a party.
I mean online.
I don't know. Squiggly face.
Oh.
You?
Dates, hookup, NSA, whatever.
Oh, same.
Cool.
What's your type?
Mask. Professional. Nice body, funny, smart, no rice, you know. Good guy, all around.
No rice?
No Asians. Are you Asian?
Albanian.
Is
I'm not Asian.
Not that it's a huge deal, just not my type, you know?
Oh, I know. You can't help who you're attracted to.
Who are you attracted to?
I don't have a type. I mean, just the normal stuff. Funny, nice, employed, decent body, and not queenie, you know?
Oh, I know.
I mean, I hate it when you see a cute guy and then they open their mouth and it's queenie.
It's the worst.
ITFW.
Huh?
It's the fucking worst.
Total.
Okay,
So I'm
okay.
still confused about where the pages go.
I got it now.
You got it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nick's gonna reorder it. That's just, we're just trying something, and then Nick's probably gonna, just so you can hear it. So I expect, we're gonna have a different order. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait on that order, and I wanna do some improv right now. Let's go with Indrid. So Indrid. Your character. So we've got this whole online persona of him. Let's improv you. Okay, and you're writing this profile. Let's improv you what you're actually like in real life. And you about like what is this dude really like, and how does he calculate this character online, or what does he hide? I guess. So let's talk about, just talk about who he is and get to the point where he's writing that online profile.
Sorry, to talk about who Adam really is?
Yeah.
And
Do you want us in this? All of
sorry,
us?
so what do you want us to improvise? What do you want to improvise? Do you want to just like chatter away here?
Start chattering, and then we'll turn it into an improv. But like it's an improv thought, I guess, is what I'm saying. Yeah. So what is he really like?
I have a feeling he's a little bit queenie.
Yeah.
You know?
Uh-huh.
I think, like from what I can tell from this, I think that he doesn't have a lot of friends.
Uh-huh.
And he actually, like, wants somebody who he can have a relationship with.
Yeah.
He's not looking for an NSA. He's not looking for dates.
Mm-hmm.
But he's just kind of going with the flow because that's what this guy seems to want, and so he's just trying to like check mark all the things that this guy says he wants in a man.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
He's like.
So
he's like cool with the, like, because I think the interaction when he says, like, what are you looking for? And he says, I don't know, because that's like, that's translation. That means, I don't know, why don't you tell me first so then I can be like, yeah, I want what you want, you know?
Yeah,
because
yeah.
if he said maybe like, I'm looking for relationship, you know, then the answer would be like, that could be cool, you know?
Yeah. So it's almost like
I think he would say that. I think he's
whoever
the kind
he
of person-
talks to, he'd have different answers. He's fishing for that, and he'll say what works.
I think he's just looking for friends. Whether they're into NSA or relationships, right?
Yeah.
'Cause I don't think he has friends.
He's looking for friends, not for sex.
Yeah. I think he's isolated in his mother's house somewhere in suburbia, North York. And like has never been to the village, doesn't know like the village that well, but he's Googled it. You know? So he's like, he knows the names of places, but he's never been there. That's why he's asking for like, what about cruise? You know, just to sound like
he's read it somewhere, right? Yeah.
I think, and then he says, sounds okay, and then the guy says, you know, about the cruise, about like it being like total blackout. He says, sounds okay, but then he says, are you into that? Like, are you into black guys? And then he says, no, like he just like takes it back right away. I was joking, you know, like I'm joking, but maybe he is. I think he secretly might be.
Yeah. But it was the reading off the energy that made him retreat. Yeah.
I think that his intention throughout the whole thing is, I want to fit in.
Yes.
Right? So anything that comes off that chat is like, I'm going to try to make it work.
Okay, awesome.
You know?
Okay, so here's
like whatever it is.
Yeah. Okay, great. What is your character's name? Oh, sorry, no, do you have more?
No, I was just going to say, like, I feel like, I don't know how far he would go with that. Like, if the guy was just like, I'm into total domination.
Yeah.
Like, would he be like, sure, I can sub. You know what I mean? Like.
And then never reply to him again, like, or.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, you know.
Just show up. See what happens.
Like, I know that when I was online, people were into like drugs. And I'm so not into drugs, but I kind of went along with it online.
Yeah.
You know, and I just like avoided meeting with them. You know.
Yeah.
Just because at the time when I was typing, somehow I thought that was going to fulfill like my needs of wanting to talk to somebody. You know.
Okay, great. What is your character's name again? Craig. Okay, this is the improv. So now Craig and Adam, we're going to cross times and we're going to have the two of you interact and talk about your wants and needs. Or like,
each other?
Yes, yeah. You're actually going to have a conversation, and we're going to say it's face to face, and just talk about where you're both at and how you're both trying to connect with community, that sort of thing, or connect with folks or whatever, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It's like President Adams having a coffee date with.
Yes, past
Craig.
Yes. And let's see how this interaction goes.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Craig.
I know. I'm Adam.
Okay.
This is weird.
I know.
Am I on a dream or something?
I don't know.
Are you an imagined character or?
I'm still here. I'm here.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you looking for?
I don't know. What are you looking for?
Someone like me.
Me too. What do you like?
I like cock. You?
I like cock.
Oh, God.
Where do you go looking?
Online? Where do you go looking?
Well, I walk.
Where do you walk?
Parks, neighborhoods. There was this phone box that I could call up. I could leave a message and I could go party sometimes. But the internet.
How did the phone box work?
Well, you'd call in. You'd leave a message. Sometimes they'd pick up and then you get to speak with them directly. And then sometimes it's a message and they'll call you back and then you'll arrange like a meeting or a
Wait, were you not nervous about their voice and they're going to judge you and they're going to judge your voice?
It
No?
was hush-hush. It was secretive. Because we were all in this secret together.
it didn't quite so matter what I thought of them exactly as a person. It depended on because we were both in this secret together. Isn't it still a secret? To be gay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Did you describe yourself to this person? How did they know what you looked like?
Well, I told them that I just came to Toronto, where I'm from, like my background, my education.
Pardon?
That's it.
Oh, okay, so
You? What do you say?
Okay.
What kind of music I like? You know, what kind of guys I'm like? What kind of guys they're like? Like physically speaking?
Right.
You know?
Oh, I see.
Just establishing things that we have in common.
Right. Are there still a lot of Asians at the Comrade, was it?
I don't know anything about the Comrade. I don't know where the Comrade is.
No? Have you ever been down the strip?
I've never been there.
You've never been there?
No, I've never been to Chaps.
But you're looking for others online.
Yeah.
But you've never
No.
actually physically been.
Why would I go? There's no need to go. There's no need to go to Chaps or Comrades. I mean, frantically, I think, I don't even know why we have a place called The Village. Like, I would never go to The Village. I would never go to The Village.
Have you ever been to Glad Day?
I don't even know what that is.
What
is that?
It's a bookstore. It's where I learned.
Why is it called Glad Day?
I don't know.
Is it still exists?
Yeah, it
From when you were alive?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm still alive.
Oh,
I'm totally
right, you're still
alive.
not that old.
It's still there. You can just mingle there, chat.
At a
There's great
bookstore?
books.
Mingle at a
Oh
bookstore?
my god, yes.
Why?
Because I was actually talked to like a human.
I'm talked to like a human online.
Are you?
Yeah.
What do you say?
Things humans say to each other. You know?
Huh. Wow. And have you been successful finding someone?
Sometimes. Sometimes you're very successful and you get what you want to get out of it and then you just move on. You don't need to go to Glad Day.
Oh, that wasn't the only means. I mean, sounds like you're meeting strangers. I walk down a park and I would meet a stranger.
Right.
Same thing.
And then did you make friends after?
No. Sometimes. Just trying to find a person to connect to, eh?
That I can understand.
Yeah. Good luck. Good luck online.
Thanks. You too.
Thanks.
Okay, folks. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add the one criteria to your improv. You have to start. You're gonna keep talking, and you have to start each line of your sentence with the truth is.
Okay.
And go back and forth. So we're doing the truth is exercise.
Okay. The truth is, I'm a man.
Truth is, I'm a man too. Truth is, sometimes I'm made to feel like I'm not.
Truth is, sometimes I make other men feel like they're not men.
Truth is, people put me in a category where I'm not a man, but sometimes they want me, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they say no rice, sometimes they say rice queens.
The truth is, I really want to have sex.
Truth is, I just want to find someone that I can relate to, a point of reference.
The truth is, I want to wear a wedding gown.
Truth is, I want to make sure other gay people can get married.
The truth is, I don't like Asians.
Truth is, I am Asian, and I can't change that.
The truth is, I love to have sex with black men.
Truth is, I've never been with a black man.
The truth is, I don't want to be racist.
Truth is, I just want to make some friends.
The truth is, I just want to make some friends too.
Truth is, I don't know how.
Oh. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
I've run out of truths.
Okay, I should have stopped you then. Wow. Okay. Any thoughts on that exercise, or what came to your mind?
Just the idea that like that I think Adam is the character who really does think that his personal taste in men is not Asian men, but that he doesn't see how that can be racist. But that is the truth. Like I didn't think that was until when we did this, that he really does think so. That is the truth for him, that he's not attracted to Asian men. But he also doesn't want to be racist. And he doesn't know how to juggle that, I think.
Yeah. Especially because of all his interactions are online, right? That whole thing. He doesn't actually have to, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that context.
Yeah.
Sorry, did you have thoughts? Or?
I felt like Craig's truths were more aligned to trying to find an identity for himself, where a community can push him aside to a certain club or a certain category, and he very well just wants to find sort of what his sexuality means to himself.
Yeah. Did you find this interaction of time in any way informing, or?
Time sort of bled together. I sort of forgot that I was not in the 2014, and that's my fault, but at the same time, it was just like, beyond time, the need to connect was just still there. Yeah.
Yeah. That commonality, right? Like in these situations, it's the commonality that's drawn out of both of you in the exercise. Yeah. How are we printing out? This is the final. Ooh. Except for the last scene. Oh, are we doing the surprise last? We are. Okay.
All right.
So we're printing out this section that's ordered. How many more do we have?
That's only one.
This is one. Okay, we got some time. Okay. Do we have? I know there's one other scene to read. Jonathan, do you mind ordering or getting that printed out? Because there's one more scene between Cole and Indrid.
And Adam?
Yes, Adam. Cole and Adam. Jay and Adam. Let's read that out.
What do you do?
I'm in law.
Hi.
Not the sexy law, I'm in immigration.
How's that?
Sucks, but it's a good firm. You?
What?
What do you do? I hope you don't have any slashes in your job title.
Slashes?
You know, actor / dancer / waiter / whatever.
Oh. No, I'm in accounting.
Hot.
What?
Money sign.
Toast.
You want to meet up?
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Cuddle. Wink face.
We could watch the Olympics.
I'm boycotting.
Seriously?
No. JK.
So what should we do?
I don't know. Come over. I'll be your welcome wagon.
Sounds hot.
Cool. Welcome to town.
Okay.
There's just something with like the whole like money sign. Like, I hope you're making a lot of money. It's like everybody's looking for a sugar daddy, but he's a lawyer.
Yeah.
So it just seems so weird that he would be after money to me.
Well, whether it's
Because
a sugar daddy or not, it's not wanting to have to be the sugar daddy. I guess. Whether you want the sugar daddy, you don't have to.
Yeah, but it's, yeah, anyway. Yeah, that's confusing to me, but
Well,
what
we've
his
seen that in
intention.
other profiles, like I have a job or something, or looking for somebody that.
Oh, but he was looking for somebody who was employed.
Yes.
Yes.
That was the thing, like funny, nice, unemployed. Because maybe he was in a relationship with, maybe he was in a relationship with somebody who was a server slash actor slash dancer slash server.
What I'm kind of seeing throughout like all of these scenes is the inability to name the thing that they're looking for the most, or
Yeah.
not being able to define their type, the normalness, or what they're actually looking for, and it's just the inability to express themselves, whether it's past, Craig, or present, you know, and that through line of just wanting to find somebody or wanting to find a group, but not able to fully define it for themselves as to what they need it to be for them. Pardon?
Or not being willing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Those two
Yeah.
abilities, but not being willing to take a stand and say this.
Yeah.
Because it might exclude everything else.
Right.
So it's like when you're kind of like in the middle, when you can swing from either way, it kind of it doesn't permit the characters or the individuals that, you know, these people are from being able to connect with somebody emotionally when they're not able to define the thing that they need the most or want the most in their lives.
I think, and from that, the question to me becomes: is it that they don't know it, or they know it and just don't want to express it?
I think it's the latter. I think they know it, but they just there's either fear of expressing it, because then they don't kind of fit into any sort of subcategory that exists. If they don't go to comrades and they don't go to chaps, then where do they actually belong? Either way, everyone has prejudice, right? Everyone has certain types or what they're attracted to, right? I mean, it would be unrealistic to say that you are attracted to everybody and everything and all body types, but, you know, but at this, you know, yes, there are some racist elements to what is being said in the words, but it's also the inquiring of it from the opposite party also gives that party permission to tell them explicitly what they don't want instead of what they need.
Do you want?
Yeah. Just like, let me state all the things that I don't want instead of all the things that I actually need.
Yeah. Totally. Do you have impulse on that? What your characters need? Like, what do you think?
I think there's something attractive that he's not from here.
Yeah.
I think there's something about, like, when you come to a new center, you can reinvent yourself, and when somebody comes to your center, you get to be the guide to dictate what happens at this club or what happens in this way. And so, what my character needs, yeah, I don't know if my character knows what he needs. Like even this mask culture, so much of that is about what, like, to be masculine is to not be feminine. Like it's defined as the negative of something. And so I wonder how that plays into what I'm looking for. Like, I'm clear about what I don't want, but I don't know that I do have the clarity of what I do want.
You two, any thoughts?
Well, a question comes to my mind is, can you go out on a journey to search for people of your community or that you feel connection with when you haven't taken the time to understand what you need? Like, what are you searching for? You know, you know, just from my own personal experience, like, you know, being a part of the queer community and just like, you know, not being able to fully define what I need or want from it, you know, did lead me astray at certain times, right? But then it's like, do these characters or these individuals take time to actually fully understand the things that they require or what they're specifically searching for before going after that journey,
Mhm.
or just going out there and seeing what they could find and then bring it together and then piece it for themselves. And then in a way find a way to connect with people, you know? There's still like old Craig and even Adam and with Jay, for me, they just seem very much like blank canvases, right? You know, certain spots have been created, but they're willing to be sort of guided or, you know, taken somewhere else to find out what their likes and dislikes are. You know?
All three.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's the interesting thing to me. I think in trying to grasp the script at this moment or at this stage of it is understanding where they're at. It does seem like that a little bit, that there is this wall trying to get to that heart of it isn't quite there for me yet in terms of how to move with it just yet, right? And I think also what you identify, the fact that all three of them are kind of in that state. There isn't that leader, there isn't that direction yet. It's sort of an establishment of who they are, but where they're going isn't quite clear. Yeah. This is everything in order. Okay. Do I have two in order now? No, I don't. Okay. I don't need this. Okay.
Everything else you have.
Yeah, toss everything else, and this is the whole script. Did I give you two?
Okay. Unless it's. Have you
Is that the old?
distributed these?
No, I'm just doing
Okay.
so.
Don't take
Thank
the
you.
old versions. I don't want any confusion.
And I need that to
Should we take a break? What do you think? I don't know. I'm just wondering momentum-wise, but
And chat.
Yes.
These. Give me your last page.
Yeah.
And take these.
I wonder
Okay.
if we take
No.
a break. I don't know, but Nick hasn't printed the last thing.
Yeah.
And yeah. Okay, is this the last scene or no?
Yeah, this is the last scene.
Okay,
Just give me the last page.
Oh, sorry. Okay, has everyone got the last page?
No, just you and Jeff.
Me and Jeff. Okay, because it's only. Okay, got you. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna let's read through it first. Just in our chairs and see how this all settles.
Not the last page?
Yeah, the last page is a monologue from Craig, so we're gonna stop on that.
Okay.
I don't remember.
No, just
yeah.
Oh, hi. Hi. My name is Craig. My friend Diane told me to call you. She said that, geez. I thought someone would answer, but guess not.
Hey, first time doing the internet dating thing, just checking it out. I like nice dinners and long walks on the beach. Jokes.
Well, let's see. Where do I start? I'm new here, to Toronto, I mean. I just moved here 3 months ago. August 14th, 1991. From Edmonton?
Anyways, I'm new to the city and I'm looking for friends. Not really into the scene, but I like being a part of what's going on. Just nothing too try hard, you know?
Anyways, I met a girl named Diane in a class at university. I study nursing, but I guess you don't really need to know that. Sorry. I'm nervous.
I'm looking for the good spots that have that going on, so hit me up if you've got sick connections or not. What else?
Anyways, Diane told me that she knows you and told me to call you. So here I am, calling you.
Call them.
I'm going to.
Yeah, well, you said that yesterday and the day before.
This time, I mean it.
You said that too. Tonight, I mean it.
Maybe if I just go walking again tonight, just hit the strip and go walking, then maybe I'll just run into someone who will show me around or something.
Right. And how has that been working out for you so far?
Not so good. It wasn't like this in Vancouver. I would have for sure gotten at least laid. I would have for sure have gotten laid at least 3 times by now.
Call the number. Listen. The guy I know there, he's tapped in. He'll know where to send you. You'll be covered in cock by the end of the week.
So I mean, it's not like I exactly need to be covered in cock, but 1 or 2 wouldn't hurt. Sorry.
Moved to Toronto for work. Just seems like a better place to get noticed, I guess. So far it's been different. Toronto people are snobby. Jokes again. I'm just joking. No, there have been some good peeps, just a little few and far between.
Anyways, so she said if I called here, someone would give me some tips about where I can go to meet some people or something. I don't know. I guess I'm surprised it's been so hard. I mean, I just keep looking. I keep looking for someone that looks like... Sorry. I mean, I went to Comrades on a Thursday about 2 months back because I was told I'd find some other Asians there. Oh yeah, I'm Chinese. I don't know if I mentioned that. Anyways, I went there on a Thursday, and when I walked in, there was this big man standing in my way. I mean, a really big man, practically blocked the doorway. And when I went to sneak past, he kind of laughed a bit. So I said, "What?"
Won't find what you're looking for in there.
What?
They're all at Chaps on Thursdays now.
Who?
Your friends?
I'm not aware of really having any friends.
Okay.
So can I go in?
You can.
I went in. Even though I knew I shouldn't, but I just can't help it. If someone says, please don't touch, I'm going to touch, you know? It was like winter in Winnipeg there, nothing but white. I didn't go to Chaps. I didn't go anywhere.
Hey.
Hey, smiley face.
Free to chat?
Sure.
What are you doing?
Chilling.
Cool.
You?
Chilling too.
Cool. What's going on tonight?
What are you into?
Party?
What type of party?
Dance?
Nothing. Toronto is terrible.
LOL.
I'm joking. There's lots. If you want to hit up a dance party, you can go to Fly later, mostly jocks. Buddies is okay, if you're into top 40 Twinkie.
Ew.
Yeah. There's some Queer West parties too, bit of a trek, but they're dope.
What about Cruise?
Downstairs, baby gays. Upstairs, total blackout party.
Sounds okay.
You're into that?
No, I was joking.
Haha.
I guess I just keep looking for me out there, but I'm not seeing it. I don't see me in any of it. I did check out Glad Day. There was a nice girl working there. We talked a bit.
So what are you looking for?
I told you. A party.
You find what you're looking for?
And then some. This shop is amazing.
What did you pick? Breaking Bread, Insurgent Black Intellectual Life. Bell hooks, eh? Sounds like a party.
Yeah, big plans this weekend.
Things a little slow in the social calendar.
Afraid so.
Ironic book to pick up. Not a lot of breaking bread in this community. People sleep together, but they don't break bread.
What are you doing this weekend?
Directing amateur feminist lesbian porn at my friend's place.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd invite you, but...
I'm good.
Is that everything for you?
Think so.
Great. Enjoy your wild weekend, hun.
I mean, what are you looking for online? Something wild?
I don't know. Squiggly face.
Oh.
You?
Dates, hookup, NSA, whatever.
Oh, same.
Cool.
What's your type?
Mask, professional, nice body, funny, smart, no rice, you know, good guy all around.
No rice?
No Asians. Are you Asian?
Albanian. I'm
that-
not Asian.
Cool. Not that it's a huge deal, just not my type, you know?
I know. You can't help if you're attracted to it.
Who are you attracted to?
I don't have a type. I mean, just the normal stuff. Funny, nice, employed, decent body, and not queenie, you know?
Oh, I know.
I mean, I hate it when you see a cute guy and then they open their mouth and it's queenie.
It's the worst.
ITFW.
Huh?
It's the fucking worst.
Total.
Anyways, let's just say I didn't exactly come into any dates at Glad Day. I don't know why I'm telling you this, oh God I don't, but I stayed in all weekend and read that entire fucking book. 48 hours of second wave feminism. And I guess I'm just starting to feel a little fucking tired of it all because I could have done that overlooking Cole Harbor after hiking through the mountains with my fucking friends in Vancouver, who all look totally different, by the way. I have a crew of 6 friends back there, and we are all totally different. And here, well, I guess, it was the straw that broke the, back. After I finished that book, finally, I got the hell out of my apartment and I saw these people go into a bar and I followed them in there. The living well. There was a guy standing at the bar, a really, really tall guy, the tallest guy I have ever seen. And I just had it. So I went up to him, straight up to him, and I said, "Can I buy you a drink?"
Sure.
"What are you drinking?"
Vodka water.
"Oh, me too." "What do you do?"
I'm in law.
I'm a writer.
Hot.
"Yeah? That's fun."
Not the sexy law. I'm in immigration.
It is many things, but not often fun.
How's that?
Sucks, but it's a good firm. You?
"Oh, really? Why?"
Why? I don't know. Because?
"Right. I'm a lawyer."
Oh boy.
"What?"
What?
"You just said, oh boy."
Did I?
"Yeah. And I bet I know why. You think, oh, I'm one of those lawyers. But I'm not really just one of those. I'm not really one of those.
What are you then?
I'm in immigration law. Mostly with people who are, you know, marginalized. I mean, more than just being a homosexual, you know? As in they have sort of this intersection between race and the fact that they like people who are the same gender as them."
Well, we're all outcasts, aren't we?
"Who?"
Everyone in this room?
"Well, yes, but some people experience that differently then."
There is certainly a lot of work to do.
Oh, right. For us to be recognized equally?
Not at all. We're not going to live like them.
Right. But in the first place, we have to live. And some people, I mean the refugees I work with, they are struggling to just live.
Yes, well, this world we live in needs a great deal of work. Freedom of speech, for instance.
Struggling just to live when the combination of their skin and the people they want to have sex with is a death sentence.
Above all, it is important that we recognize ourselves as an organized community.
A community of what?
A community of identity.
But that means nothing.
Right. Well, thanks for the drink.
You're welcome. No, you're not. Give it back. No, don't. Just fuck you.
What do you do? I'm in law.
Hot.
Not the sexy law. I'm in immigration.
How's that?
Sucks, but it's a good firm. You?
What?
What do you do? I hope you don't have any slashes in your job title.
Slashes?
You know, actor slash dancer slash waiter slash whatever.
Oh, no. I'm in accounting.
Hot.
What?
Money sign.
Totes.
You want to meet up?
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Cuddle. Winky face.
We could watch the Olympics.
I'm boycotting it.
Seriously?
No. JK.
So what should we do?
I don't know. Come over. I'll be your welcome wagon.
Sounds hot.
Cool. Welcome to town.
Let's read the last monologue. Let's go for it. Yeah, let's read it.
Is that the secret one?
Yeah, let's read the secret one.
Just read it? Okay.
I think let's read it, yeah.
Anyways.
No? Yeah.
Yes?
Huh, okay.
There's some people who are on a cliffhanger.
Secret
Should we read the
monologue
secret
time.
monologue? That's the question. That's the question. I feel, okay, I'm looking at the time right now. We've got about 15. Will we actually be able to get through the whole thing again if we read again without the monologue? That's my thought, actually, my thought process about going forward with it.
I don't know, do you want to stage it? I guess we don't really have
We don't have time now, that's the thing, because we hit 8:47. We're not going to be able to stage the whole thing. So
just read the whole thing and then...
I think we're going to have to read the whole thing and then go. Yeah, I mean, and on that note. Yeah, I'll have a little bit of a chat on it. Let's do that. Yeah. For the last 10. Yeah? Okay, let's read that. Okay, let's go for that then. I just think we're going to run over. We're going to get over 9 if we go. No, yeah, that's the only thing. That's the issue. Yeah. Okay. So let's go with that end monologue. Do you want to back up a little bit just so we get a little bit of momentum on that? Sorry about that, folks. Let's back up and read that last J. Adams scene.
Do you
Mm-hmm.
Top of 14?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sucks, but it's a good firm. You?
What?
What do you do? I hope you don't have any slashes in your job title.
Slashes?
You know, actor slash dancer slash waiter slash whatever.
Oh, no, I'm in accounting.
Hot.
What?
Money sign.
Totes.
You want to meet up?
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Cuddle? Wink face?
We could watch the Olympics.
I'm boycotting it.
Seriously?
No. JK.
So what should we do?
I don't know. Come over. I'll be your welcome wagon.
Sounds hot.
Cool. Welcome to town.
Anyways, so I guess this has been a pretty long message, and I've said what I need to say. You can reach me at 416-602-6512, but I have a roommate. I really hope someone there calls me back. If a guy answers, please just hang up. Don't say your name or anything because he would get really nosy about it. And anyways, just hang up, unless it's me. I mean, I have a man's voice, but it's not as deep. You should be able to tell. But if a woman answers, that's my roommate's girlfriend, and she's fine. So please, let her know that you called and where I can call you back. I'm sorry. I don't mean to sound desperate. You don't want to sound desperate, do you? No. It would just be pretty great to talk to someone else that's, that isn't, well, I guess someone else who doesn't have a scene, who has been ruled out, who doesn't have a party.
Nice. Okay, good job, folks. Yeah. I guess we can talk about it with the audience now. Should we open it up for that? Yeah. Yeah. We've got about 5 minutes. Okay, so some of you have arrived somewhere in the middle of this process. Some of you have been here the whole time. Are there any initial thoughts in the audience with this experiment right now? Perhaps someone who looks like they really want to say a lot of things in this corner.
No, I just think it was awesome how it really was from the interview process, the stories you heard translated into this juxtaposition of two worlds, still telling his story, but then comparing it to today's experiences and contrasting that two people still looking for the same things and what world they're going to face and challenges they're going to face. That there still will be challenges no matter what, whether it's dealing with whether or not you're going to voice what you actually want to say or go along with someone, or whether you're just going to have a really hard time finding someone to actually say that to. But the difference is
it was something that I was really intrigued by. I feel like the attitude is that things are so much easier now that there's the internet. It's like things are so easy. Before we had to make Morse code in order, you just draw on your phone and you're on Grindr and all that stuff. But it's true that it's instantly accessible, but there's really no difference in terms of the ways that we have to edit ourselves and protect ourselves, and it's really insidious in a lot of ways to talk so hatefully about other gay people in hopes that it makes you seem more acceptable. So yeah, I'm glad you picked up on that.
Actually, just arriving 15, 20 minutes ago, I was curious to come and see how the process has happened, because actually you told me that this is, so the whole play is going to be developing over the conversation, so you just come up with so I wonder how you guys went through this from the beginning.
Yeah, maybe to review it for those who showed up later. At the beginning of tonight, which feels like a month ago, we had a guest come in named Alfaru Taki, who spoke about his experience in the sort of 90s in Toronto in the gay scene, late 80s, 90s. Jean interviewed him, and I took notes, which are projected over here that you can't really see right there.
You can see some notes here.
Yeah. So following the interview, Jean and I had a 3-minute dramaturgy session, and then they did sort of table work as actors as I wrote the script, and then the script was finished about 20 minutes ago.
And because of our wonderful friends here, you can go online and watch what you missed as well. It's been live streamed on the Extra website.
And I have to say that it was a completely fascinating process. And I was just glued all the way through.
Oh, yeah, great.
Just the process was, you know.
What was about it? What about it was fascinating? Or did you not expect, or so on and so forth?
I guess I haven't participated in anything like this or even seen it. It was just amazing how it went together. And obviously, a lot of ability in terms of being able to pick up a script and read it. But just the same way that whole creative thing just wove together, you know, in what, 3 hours. That was fascinating.
Oh, great.
We're really fortunate to be working with a playwright that has like production-ready draft.
Right.
Not every playwright can work that quickly as far as having something that's ready for public consumption, and this was very much a workshop, and there would be edits. But yeah, we're very lucky to have Nick.
Mm-hmm. Is it? Oh, yes, that's right. We have to exit the building. Okay. Yeah, so, you know, thank you, everyone, for coming out to watch this. Thank you, Nick, for turning that out so quickly. And, like, thanks for working, company. That was a great first time around. This is the first time we've ever done it. And it really does feel like we've been up here for 3 months with this bright lights on us the whole time. But, yeah.
We'll be back tomorrow at noon, from noon till 3, and again on Friday from 3 till 6. So tell your friends. There'll be a different storyteller at the next 2 events, and we'll go through it all again.
And now it's time for the Rhubarb party.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
DailyXtra.com. Everything news.
I'm Andrea Houston, and we're here at the Dyke March.
Everything arts and entertainment.
It's not about sexuality.
What now? Everybody's afraid to say this isn't right.
Everything travel. Everything events. Everything gay, every day. DailyXtra.com.